Derby and the Horse of the Year award. He then campaigned in Melbourne in the spring of '83 for what proved to be the climax of his Australian career. His first start there was the Freeway Stakes.
Strawberry Road joined by Toy Pindari on the corner. A length away, Red Tempo's coming hard, and then in the slot, Brummel Who. It's Toy Pindari and Strawberry Road into the straight, a length to Red Tempo. Strawberry Road a neck in front of Toy Pindari. He's drawn a half clear now. Red Tempo on the outside, coming out after him, but Strawberry Road in front. Red Tempo trying hard, but Strawberry Road, he's a champ. Wins at a length and a half, Red Tempo, a great run.
After suffering defeat at the hands of Red Tempo in the Memsie Stakes, he had his revenge in the Centennial.
Round the 800 corner, Belsier Boy, a neck to Cossack Prince, 2 lengths to Strawberry Road. Red Tempo, Thompson's going to try and put Dittman in a pocket here. Can he do it? Then 2 lengths away, Bin Binger and Wholesome. Coming by the 600, Dittman's awake. He pulls out 3 deep. Cossack Prince beat Belsier Boy off, and now Strawberry Road 3 deep. And on the outside, Red Tempo 4 deep, challenge the leaders. Strawberry Road and Red Tempo have gone to the front at the 500 from Cossack Prince, 3 lengths to Wholesome. It's Red Tempo the outer, Strawberry Road the inner, kicking away. They've got a 3 lengths break on Cossack Prince and Wholesome. Each horse going as well as the other. Strawberry Road and Red Tempo turn together, nothing in it, 3 lengths Cossack Prince. Thompson now about to go for the whip on Red Tempo. Strawberry Road ahead in front. Red Tempo trying to get to him, but Strawberry Road's doing a little bit better. And it's a $500,000 up for Strawberry Road. He comes away from Red Tempo. Wins a length and a half. Cossack Prince third.
There they are, the happy owners, the self-styled Macedonian mountain men.
The first good guide to the Derby candidates is the Spring Triple Crown Series in Sydney, which consists of the Peter Pan Stakes of 1,500 metres. The Peter Pan Stakes was a sheer formality for the brilliant Sir Dapper, who had clearly been the champion 2-year-old of the previous season.
In Riverdale, but it's all Sir Dapper, and Sir Dapper at his first start beyond 1,200 metres bolted in, won by almost 3 lengths to Regal Advice.
Right, you know, sometimes she used to hang in.
She wants to hang in a bit. She's on one rein, but she quickly ranges up to Kia Mare. She's hanging badly. She's laying all over Kia Mare. Kia Mare kicking again, Emancipation, and Kia Mare, by crikey, Kia Mare is fighting back. They hit the line.
Owners decided to give him the chance to complete the Triple Crown, and his next assignment was the Gloaming Stakes a fortnight later. The 1,900 metres was to prove a severe test on the champion colt, who after all is bred along fairly strict sprinting lines. No one knew for sure which horse had won until Sir Dapper's number went into the frame, but the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown were now officially his. This season there were 57 Group 1 races decided around Australia, and the first of these paved the way for a season of excitement. The Underwood Stakes, a traditional spring curtain raiser with many top Melbourne Cup hopes participating. Now watch closely as the drama of the 1983 Underwood Stakes unfolds inside the final 200 metres.
And he's not going to lead on Pleats today, and Strawberry Road's left in front with Ciroc. No pace on at all. Cossack Prince out 3 deep third, and Pleats on the rails fourth, followed by Bellerophon, and then around the outside Triumphal March. They will follow just 1,000, and Triumphal March has gone up to join Cossack Prince. About a length in front at this stage. Strawberry Road's tucked in on the inside from Ciroc and Bellerophon on the outside. 1 to no Pietrasaro. Pleach is getting further back in the field. She's gone back to about third last with Bianco Lady going around it with Royal Regatta, and Larkacott back near the rear with Cullimore. They come down with 600 to go. Triumphal March about a half length to Cossack Prince, a half to Bellerophon, 1 to Strawberry Road looking for the run. No Piers moved up 3 deep on the outside, and Royal Regatta's improving. Pleach is not in the race as they make the home turn. Triumphal March the leader from Cossack Prince. On the outside, Bellerophon and No Fear. Strawberry Road's badly snookered at the moment, but is going to get out here. In the straight, Triumphal March in front, however, from Cossack Prince and Strawberry Road under great pressure. Then Tresaro getting up on the inside of them. It's Cossack Prince, Triumphal March. Tresaro got knocked over. Strawberry Road can't win. Cossack Prince in front and drawing away, and Cossack Prince is going to win it by a good length and a half to Tresaro. A half length Triumphal March.
The win represented a marvellous comeback from injury for Cossack Prince. But the joy of victory was short-lived as Harry White, who rode the runner-up Tresaro, fired in a protest for interference inside the final 200 metres. After viewing the official head-on films of the race, the stewards upheld White's objection. Tresaro's victory under such controversial circumstances, when unwanted in the betting at 20 to 1, was not exactly a season's highlight for punters. But if they were shaken at the outcome of that race, they were virtually mummified 35 minutes later after the running of the Group 1 Marlborough Cup.
Reasonably well. The light. Set. Racing in the Marlborough Cup of 83. Ranger's Son away well. Torbeck's going to lead them early. Bullion Broker got away well also, showing speed on the outside. And when they settle down into stride, Bullion Broker's going to be just in front. Tandrio got away pretty well with Torbeck, and they were followed then by Mirth and Hoopla Hannah. One in trouble there, Arctic Wolf, dropped out a long last. Over the hill.
Where I followed Showmaran. Showmaran, I was going to go to his outside, but he's eased out. So I've had to go to the inside work. And then I've got a bit of a checkered run through, but my horse has seen daylight the last 100 metres and he's really flown to the line.
Closer, Hoopla Hannah. Red Tempo's giving them a pretty good start as they enter the straight, although he's making some ground. Into the straight they race now, and Mirth the leader from top post. Bullion Broker looking to get out from Torbeck. Showmaran the outside from Bren Lane. Mirth in front. Bullion Broker's going well, can't get out. Torbeck got to the leader. Showmaran the outside, and Ranger's Son. Red Tempo can't win, but it's Torbeck in front. Ranger's Son coming at it on the inside. Torbeck and Ranger's Son. Ranger's Son going home a bit the better. And Ranger's Son's won at a short half head to Torbeck. Third Showmaran, fourth Vero Race.
A strong win by Ranger's Son, but the form of the first two horses both before and after the race was not in keeping with an event holding Group 1 status.
2 days after the sensational Caulfield Show Day meeting, the racing spotlight swung to Sydney for the big Labour weekend meeting. This year, with the headquarters of racing, Royal Randwick, closed for extensive track repairs, the big spring fixture was held for the first time at the Australian Jockey Club's No. 2 track at Warwick Farm. Although Strawberry Road was being regarded as Australia's No. 1 weight for age performer, his absence didn't take much away from the clash of Emancipation and Mr. McGinty in the Group 1 George Main Stakes. The previous 2 years, the race had been the domain of Kingston Town. This year, KT was missing, but Super Sire Bletchingley had another top liner to fly his flag.
Third place on the outside, Cool River. Mr. McGinty between horses, and Razoo getting up on the rail, followed by Rare Form, Ring True, Seradio, Anchor In, and Jagamar last as they come to the turn where 7 lengths covers the field. Artist Man with the inside running is almost joined now by Emancipation. Letting loose on the outsiders, Cool River as they turn for home, followed by Razoo. McGinty is parked right on their heels as they turn for home, but straightening up, and Emancipation dashed to the lead. Emancipation kicked away clear of Mr. McGinty coming through in the centre. And then Cool River, Rare Form and Ring True, but it's another one coming up for the champion there, Emancipation, and Quinto's won the big treble here today at Warwick Farm. Emancipation won easily. Second is Mr. McGinty. Third, we've got 3 of them there, Cool River, Ring True, I like the way he went to the line. Rare Form's also in that photo, and then Artist Man, Razoo and Anchor In, followed by Jagamar.
Officially his. The AJC threw a small spanner into the Champion Stakes picture, because with the transfer of the Champion Stakes from Randwick to Warwick Farm, the distance of the race had to be lengthened by 100 metres. Trainer Les Bridge and jockey Ron Quinton devised a special riding plan for the Champion Stakes, which called for Quinton to be daringly patient on Sir Dapper. Instead of using the colt's natural speed, Quinton restrained Sir Dapper to the tail of the field, ensuring that the colt spent as little energy as possible until the last 800 metres.
But now he's got the mouth open and starts to pull a little bit on the turn out of the straight. Been there led and slows them up to a jog. In second place, Riverdale on the outside, running third, Galway Prince, followed by Not Declared, and then Sir Dapper. As they race towards the 800 metres, the leader has been there under a good hold. He led from Riverdale 3 deep, and between the Riverdale on the outside, Galway Prince 3 deep. Prolific sustaining a long run has gone up to make a line of 4. And then Regal Advice, followed by Not Declared. Sir Dapper's within 4 lengths of the lead coming to...
I was confident, really, because I spoke to Les Bridge about the race before the race, and we decided to ride him very patiently early and make it a sprint home, and that's exactly what happened in the race. I rode him and just made it a sprint home, and it just proved that he was a much superior colt throughout the whole year.
Been there, the leader from Riverdale. Here comes the Dapper. Sir Dapper charging down the outside, has raced up to Been there. Sir Dapper headed Been there in one twinkling, and he's got the Triple Crown. Sir Dapper drawing away to score brilliantly. One from Been there, Tri-Flow flew to be third. Then Riverdale.
A marvellous win, confirming that Sir Dapper is truly a champion. At this stage, Sir Dapper had raced on 11 occasions for 10 wins and a desperately unlucky second in the Todman Slipper trial as a 2-year-old. Winning a Golden Slipper at 2 and going on to win a Group 1 race at 2100 metres at 3 means that Sir Dapper is entitled to rank with the greatest of Golden Slipper winners, Manicato, Baguette, Luskin Star, and of course Sir Dapper's sire, Vane.
Classics were just as fascinating. The first key lead-up race was the Group 2 Edward Manifold Stakes at Flemington, a race regarded as a dress rehearsal for the 1,000 guineas a fortnight later. Look for Taj Eclipse in the white with brown circles near the tail of the field on the home turn.
Look aloft, they're homeward bound, 450 metres left to go, and Raging River now being tackled by Perfect Bliss and coming home well, Barenza. They're followed by Snow Bloom and Pearl Queen and Sentimental Lady under a lot of pressure. Down the outside, Secret Bouquet, Look Aloft is coming from a long way back, but Perfect Bliss has taken the lead in the Edward Manifold. She's nicely clear, Look Aloft is coming home strongly on the outside, and Taj Eclipse from the rear is finishing very strongly. Perfect Bliss being tackled by Taj Eclipse, and Look Aloft on the inside. Taj Eclipse has taken the lead, and Taj Eclipse has got up to score.
The same day Taj Eclipse won the Manifold, the AJC held the Flight Stakes over 1,600 metres at Warwick Farm, a race that traditionally proves which is the best 3-year-old filly in Sydney.
Glory followed by Lady Eclipse, but La Cassiere is going to win the Flight Stakes, getting tied near the line, but she's too good, La Cassiere, and won by more than a length to sail to glory.
Time-honoured Epsom and Metropolitan handicaps. Although being run at a different location, both events were as wide open as ever.
Racing in the Epsom, the 8th start, they came out almost as one. Manuan got the squeeze box and he went back towards the tail of the field. Secret Romance bounced out in front of Trent's Digger, followed by Like a Planet, Lord Ballina, Gelsomino. Our Fable is very quickly into stride, Rare Form in a prominent spot, and then Cool River, followed by Reflect. Marin about to commence the turn for home, 500 metres out. Secret Romance first into the straight over Like a Planet, running third, hard ridden as Lord Ballina, and then Trent's Digger right off the track as Cool River as they turn for home, followed by Rare Form and Azar's Command, and Ring True is starting to thread his way through the field. Now he's into the clear. In the straight, Like a Planet headed Secret Romance. Trent's Digger getting a rails run. Cool River further out, and Ring True is starting to rocket home now. Like a Planet tackled by Cool River. Ring True down the outside, can't get to them. Cool River put his head in front, and Cool River won the Epsom. Cool River by a neck to his stablemate Like a Planet. Ring True third, fourth, Rare Form.
The Epsom handicap had a familiar ring to it. After all, what racing fan hasn't heard of Bart Cummings trading the Quinella in a big race?
Gates open, off and running in the Metropolitan, and No Peer and Gala Mascot are about the first.
2 days later in the Metropolitan, 3 well-trained horses showed that form in staying races isn't necessarily the hardest to follow. The trio, Kiamare, Noble Heights and Hay had filled the placings in the Winfield Gold Cup at Newcastle and the Group 3 Queen's Cup at Warwick Farm. After the first 2 rounds, it was a winner piece to Kiamare and Noble Heights, with Hay filling the role of runner-up on each occasion. But the Metropolitan was Hay's revenge.
Straight, the man is last. The Metrop field is tightly packed, and Kiamare has raced up now to head Heroic Blaze. Kiamare is first into the home straight over Heroic Blaze. Hay into the clear, looming up to them. No Peer 4 deep on the corner, followed by Tristram Lad, Admiral Lincoln, and then together again and Tulsa Knight. But coming to the 200, and Kiamare is clear. Hay desperately ridden is trying to get to him. They look to have it between them. Kiamare in front. Hay inch by inch is wearing him down. Kiamare stopping. Hay getting to him with every stride, and he got there. Hay right on the line, got up to win the Metrop by a long head to Kiamare. A great ride by Voigt. Third eye, the Noble.
A thoroughly deserved win to Hay, who'd been just below the top deck of 3-year-olds in the autumn. The victory was a career highlight for young Randwick trainer Jim Lee.
Fishy South Australian Oaks was to reveal 2 further contenders for the big prize money available in Melbourne. The SAJC Oaks, despite being a Group 1 race, is worth only $25,000, but it has repeatedly turned out superior winners. This year, the finish rested between Adelaide's 2 best fillies, Casey Bell and Rose of Dudley.
Further back on the inside, Regal Rhyme, followed by Ash Chic and Fact Paxonair, and Real Pushy was last as they go to the 600 in the Oaks. The leader, Singapore Gem, shows the way. Final Lullaby is out after it quickly now. Then came further back on the inside, Paxonair. Dunwoody's there. Rose of Dudley held up for run. Final Lullaby goes up with Pearl of Orient pushing through in the centre. Singapore Gem is running off the rail, and there's a good gap there for entrancing. Rose of Dudley's following that filly through now, switches around them and gets a split. In the straight, it's on the inside, entrancing. Rose Rose of Dudley going up with Final Lullaby. They squeeze up, and Casey Bell goes up with them to head them. Casey Bell takes a narrow lead. Rose of Dudley's trying to recover. It's Casey Bell in front though, and Casey Bell is going to prevail in the Mitsubishi Motors South Australian Oaks by 2 lengths to Rose of Dudley, who got a bad...
Casey Bell is by the French horse Zamazan, who has been one of the great strengths of the New Zealand breeding industry over the past few years.
And the Australian equivalent of that race is the Caulfield Guineas, with prize money of $140,000. The Guineas was the next target for Sir Dapper after his amazing Sydney campaign. But the race became particularly interesting after track work the Tuesday before the big race. Sir Dapper worked on the course proper at Caulfield with Albany Bay, a smart colt who'd convincingly won the Group 2 Moonee Valley Stakes at his previous appearance. Albany Bay won the gallop in a canter, and speculation was rife that Sir Dapper would go into the record books as what Melbourne racegoers irreverently call a Sydney champion. The race between Sir Dapper and Albany Bay took a broader base with the arrival from New Zealand of the highly rated sea anchor colt Beechcraft, which had been purchased by Mr. Robert Sangster. The international racing and breeding identity bought Beechcraft because he didn't have a classic hope for the season. Jockey Brent Thompson only had to ride the colt once in track work to know he was going to give Sir Dapper the race of his life.
Inside. Getting away well also was Sir Gerate and Monolith, and Albany Bay's going fast. Sir Dapper's 5th, the 6th, and Bean There's up there now vying for the lead when they settled. Beechcraft is back second last with Centane, and on the outside of them Crimson Gold. Bean There went to the lead at the 1400, a length and a half. Albany Bay dropping in on the inside in second placing. Sir Dapper's gone up to be 3rd or 4th, Monolith up near the lead, and then Handsome Seattle, Crimson Gold and Tamanor. At the 1000 and Bean There bowling along a length and a half in front of Monolith and a half. Albany Bay in the box seat. Sir Dapper's coasting 4th on the outside of Handsome Seattle. Then Vigo going forward from Romantic Red, and 2 lengths to Beechcraft starting to creep forward from Keepers. Centane next is a long way back in the field and hard ridden, and then Crimson Gold to the outside, Tamanor last. Packing up at the 600, Been There the inside, Romantic Red, and here's Sir Dapper. He's let go and has gone up to join the leaders on the corner. 1 length further back then in the field, Beechcraft has gone quickly, and Albany Bay travelling well but needing a run badly on the inside. Round the turn and Been There the leader about a half length. From on the outside, Sir Dapper, Albany Bay has snookered in behind them as they straighten, and Beechcraft's got out. Beechcraft went up with Sir Dapper now to tackle the leader, Been There, followed by Centane. Sir Dapper and Beechcraft fighting it out with Been There battling back. It's Beechcraft the outside and Sir Dapper. Beechcraft put his nose in front of Sir Dapper near the line, and Beechcraft's going to win the Guineas. A great win. Beechcraft, 3 parts of a length.
Beechcraft is the best representative to date of the L-seed horse Sea Anchor, who stands at Haunui Farm in New Zealand. His dam.
The Caulfield Stakes often discloses the Caulfield Cup winner. So this year, all eyes were on Cup Fancy's Strawberry Road, Cossack Prince and Cool River. But against them were 2 of the best weight-for-age performers on either side of the Tasman, Mr. McGinty and Emancipation.
Responding has joined Cossack Prince. Mr. McGinty's moving up well. Emancipation's gone. She's hanging, and Mr. McGinty swamped them on the corner. The New Zealander dashed to the lead on the outside with Strawberry Road battling back. Then Cossack Prince, Emancipation. Mr. McGinty, the leader, out wide. He's flat about a length in front of Cossack Prince, Strawberry Road, and then Emancipation. But Mr. McGinty striding away in the run home. He's going to win it easily. And Mr. McGinty goes on to win by 2 lengths from Cossack Prince. 3rd placing is going to go to Cool River. Just got up.
Mr. McGinty was never in any real danger after swooping on the leaders on the home turn. The gallant little New Zealander was to have only 2 more runs in Australia before heading to Tokyo, where he represented New Zealand in the Japan Cup. This season, the IXL had absolutely no bearing on the Caulfield Cup. The IXL is the 2nd Group 1 metric mile to be run for the season, the first being Cool River's Epsom Handicap run a week earlier.
Vero Ray in front of it. They pack up at the 700, getting closer, a neck only to Pleach, a length and a half to the wind, and French Current the outside. Wonder Hoopla Hannah, here's Vero Ray letting go. Bren Lane easing off the fence. Like a Fortune got shuffled back. Ring True badly needing a run with Anchor in, Ranger's Son and Show Moran, but they're tightly bunched on the corner, 500 out. Getting closer, just the leader from Pleach, and French Current going all right on the outside. They were followed then by Bren Lane easing to the outside. Ring True in trouble, getting a run from Hoop Lahana. French Current dash to the lead in the straight. Bren Lane's out after it, and Ring True getting clear. It's French Current tackled by Ring True and Show Moran. Ring True went to the lead. Show Moran's going with it from French Current. Show Moran's going home the better, and Show Moran comes away to win. Ring True second, third French Current, fourth.
Show Moran had raced consistently in the weeks leading up to the IXL, and the authority he showed in this win vindicated the high opinion his trainer Ken Newman has always had of him.
First appointment was a match with Taj Eclipse and Perfect Bliss in the 1,000 Guineas. There were two incidents which had a big bearing on the outcome of the 1,000 Guineas. One was Mapperley Heights being balloted out of the race, despite being a group winner in New Zealand. The second was heavy rain on the day of the race.
Races on as they jump away. Raging River away quickly from Star of Missenden Lark. Casey Air on the inside. Fear Burst and Belter too has begun quite well. Coral Queen is just behind them. Sabre Dancer up handy with Perfect Bliss too. They were followed by further back in the field Lady Eclipse and Secret Bay Eclipse, and then came Aussie Banter. Further back in the field Fear Burst, and now Taj Eclipse to the outside. On the turn, and the leader with 500 to go is still Perfect Bliss, a length and a half. La Casey Air second. Sabre Dancer's gone up third. Raging River and then Look Aloft under the whip at the head of the others. In the straight, Perfect Bliss about 2.5 lengths clear. La Casey Air out after it. Perfect Bliss drifting off the track a bit, and then Raging River on the fence, but Perfect Bliss holding them at bay. Clements riding for dear life. Perfect Bliss clear. She's hanging off the track, but she's got the 1,000 Guineas won. Perfect Bliss running right over to the judges' box, is going to win it easily. Scores by about 3 lengths at the finish. Raging River second, third Look Aloft, fourth.
Perfect Bliss is the second successive 1,000 Guineas winner by Sharp Edge, himself a classic winner of the Irish 2,000 Guineas. The filly
The stage was set for the Caulfield Cup, with the 3 place getters from the Metropolitan Handicap in Sydney added to the horses who'd done their preliminaries on Guineas Day. The heavy rain on Cup Day resulted in the track deteriorating noticeably, and horses had to either lead or race close to the lead to have any chance of winning. Punters were in a quandary as to which horse to back under the shocking conditions, and surprisingly made the New Zealander Fountain Court, who had never raced in Melbourne, favourite at 11-2.
And over towards the inside, Fountain Court and Larker caught away well. So was Tressaro, together again, ridden out with a whip on the inside. Hay Eyes up near the leaders with Cossack Prince, and Cool Rivers working up to join the leaders on the outside. They're followed then by Forward Charge, Triumphal March and Noble Heights. Homemade the outside from Kiamara. Then Shanu, Nostradamus, Veloso and Amarat and Wholesome last. Past Veloso, coming down to the 900 now, and Hay a half length to Cossack Prince, a length to Cool River going up on the outside with Homemade, a length further back Larker Cott, Shanu coming into it wide round the outside, and then Kiamara hard ridden. Next Tressaro looking for a run, Fountain Court struggling, Nostradamus going around the outside, Triumphal March commencing to make a bit of ground from Wholesome and Noble Heights. On the turn, 500 out, Hay a half length Cossack Prince, who's flat. To the Larker Cat running on well. Shanu struggling from Kiamara. Cool River can't go on. Here's Tressaro coming into it from Triumphal March, but it's Hay in front into the straight. Let a link to Cossack Prince and Larker Cat, and they've kicked right away from the others, headed by Tressaro. Hay is going strongly at the 200. A link to Cossack Prince from Larker Cat. The others can't win, but Hay is hanging on to his lead from Cossack Prince. In fact, he's increasing it, and Hay drawing right away in the concluding stages. Almost an all-the-way victory to Hay by 3 lengths. Second placing close Cossack Prince, and those in front of Larker Club third. 5 lengths away fourth Tressaro from Triumph.
After the Caulfield Cup, the next highlight of the Melbourne Spring is the Weight for Age WS Cox Plate at Moonee Valley, which has always been regarded as Australia's premier weight for age race. The Cox Plate is invariably won by the champion of the times, but this year the winner was fairly well concealed in an extremely even field. The outstanding colt Sir Dapper and the dazzling Sydney mare Emancipation shared favouritism at 7-2 from the Caulfield Stakes winner Mr McGinty. Although Strawberry Road had disgraced himself at his previous 2 Caulfield appearances, there was a strong rally for the AJC Derby winner, who, after all, was unbeaten at Moonee Valley.
Tressaro both slow. Away quickly also Sir Dapper and Albany Bay and Strawberry Road come to London. Albany Bay's in front. They're all looking for a leader. Sir Dapper and Strawberry Road join it from Come to London. Emancipation on the rails. Mr. McGinty about 5 wide, trying to get a position, and Fine Offer, they bumped heavily. LA Bijou, Skittle, Fine Offer again, and it was a rough house going out of the straight. Going to the 1600, Strawberry Road and Come to London, a length and a half, Sir Dapper and Mr. McGinty, Perfect Bliss 3 deep. On the rails, Deb's Mate, a length to Handsome Seattle wide from Fine Offer, LA Bijou. A length and a half further back, Emancipation got skittled again. Trusaro went around it, and then Albany Bay and last Kiwi Slave. They're dawdling at the 1300. Come to London in front, a half to Handsome Seattle, 1 to Strawberry Road, a length Perfect Bliss on the rails, Deb's Mate, 1 to Mr. McGinty. Fine Offer, trapped 3 deep going around them. Sadapper pushed back on the rails from LA Bijou, 1 Emancipation, Trusaro pulling, 2 to Albany Bay and Kiwi Slave. At the 1000, Come to London, a length and a half, Handsome Seattle, 1.5 now to Strawberry Road. They were followed then on the outside by Perfect Bliss, Deb's Mate, the rails, Mr. McGinty in the centre of that bunch of horses. And they were followed then a length further back, LA Bijou, Sadapper, Fine Offer 3 deep, making ground from Trusaro. Emancipation second last, she's not going well. Albany Bay inside her and last Kiwi Slave. 600 out, they pack up, and Fine Offer bolted round the outside to go to the lead. He's had no luck, but he's charged to the lead from Handsome Seattle. Perfect Bliss, Come to London's gone. Strawberry Road trying to get out of a pocket. Here's Sadapper, hooked 4 or 5 wide with Mr. McGinty. 2 to Trusaro, LA Bijou, Albany Bay. Emancipation's last on the corner. Fine Offer and Handsome Seattle. Mr. McGinty and Sir Dapper and Strawberry Road, they're all out and after the leaders on the corner now. It's Strawberry Road dashing to the lead from Fine Offer. Then Mr. McGinty beaten from Sir Dapper, but Strawberry Road, my goodness, he's a different horse today. He's going to walk in. Kiwi Slave coming from last, going to run second. Strawberry Road won it by 4 lengths. Second, Kiwi Slave. Third, Mr. McGinty. Fourth, Handsome Seattle.
Strawberry Road is
wide with Mr. McGinty. 2 to Trusaro, LA Bijou, Albany Bay. Emancipation's last on the corner. Fine Offer and Handsome Seattle. Mr. McGinty and Sir Dapper and Strawberry Road, they're all out and after the leaders on the corner now. It's Strawberry Road dashing to the lead from Fine Offer. Then Mr. McGinty beaten from Sir Dapper, but Strawberry Road, my goodness, he's a different horse today. He's going to walk in. Kiwi Slave coming from last, going to run second. Strawberry Road won it by 4 lengths. Second, Kiwi Slave. Third, Mr. McGinty. Fourth, Handsome Seattle.
Strawberry Road is undoubtedly the most successful representative of the Northern Dancer sire line bred in this country. He's by the very well-bred Whiskey Road, a son of Northern Dancer's champion son, Nijinsky. Later in the year, a majority shareholding was purchased in Strawberry Road by Sydney businessmen John Singleton and Ray Stair, and plans were formulated to race the horse in Europe in late 1984. Strawberry Road is expected to return to Australia for stud duties in 1985.
The Cox Plate was a marvellous race, as it is every year. But as a guide to the Melbourne Cup, it was no use at all. The first 5 horses over the line were non-runners in the Cup, and the well-regarded Trusaro had to be sent to the spelling paddock after suffering a bleeding attack. Back in Melbourne, the top fillies were right on target for the VRC Oaks and had their final lead-up race in the Group 2 Wakeful Stakes over 2,000 metres 5 days before the Classic. It was easy to see that the wet track form of 1,000 guineas was all wrong.
As they run down with 350 to go. Casey Bell being tackled now by Lark Casey here in the centre with a good run. And down the outside, finishing very fast as Taj Eclipse looks the big danger. Lark Casey here took the lead past the 200 clear from Taj Eclipse down the outside. They're followed by Casey Bell and back behind them Sabre Dancer. Lark Casey here is clear of Taj Eclipse, close to home. Lark Casey here in front. Taj Eclipse trying to peg it back. They hit it, and on the inside, I think...
The Oaks was now wide open with top chancing over sprint distances. One of these is the Pure Pack Stakes, a race over the famous Flemington Straight 1,200-metre course. The week before the Pure Pack, the country-trained sprinter Bold Jet had won the Weight for Age Moir Stakes at Moonee Valley, defeating River Rough and Daybreak Lover. With a huge drop in weight from Weight for Age to handicap conditions, River Rough was one of the best supported runners.
I just told Darren to try and nurse the horse as well as he could near the lead. But his main trouble was to get to 1,200 metres. But he sat there on him, nursed him in front, kicked away at the 200-metre mark, and the horse really accelerated beautifully.
That bunch of horses, Bullion, Broker and Show Moran. Quebeau just the leader now with Derive at the 700. Stellina and River Rough on the inside of it from Feeling Fit and Papal Bull. Worth on the outside, followed by Captain Piper and Bren Lane looking for a run from Bullion Broker. Show Moran's dropped out the last and Buljet's practically back with it. Quebeau in front of the 500 and Hector Derive, River Rough the fence. Over on the outside, Worth, here's Bow Mistress coming with a good run, and Mr. Magic starting to make up some ground too. On the inside, River Rough quickly raced away to take the lead at the 300. Quebeau's gone. In second placing, Worth. River Rough's raced a mile in front. From Worth on the outside, Bullion Broker getting through with Quebeau, and coming down the outside of the track, Show Moran and Buljet when it's all over. River Rough stopping, but has won it about a neck to Worth. Close for third, Bow Mistress or Buljet.
River Rough is the best representative to date of the no-home stallion Brigand, who stands at Tamarin Stud in Toolan Vale, 40 kilometres west of Melbourne. The horse was ridden by leading apprentice Darren Gorsey and was trained by Bob Hoisted, who'd previously won the race with Scamander.
While two new names emerged, King Delamere and Bounty Hawk, both sons of the former international champion Belmarino. The pair had their final trial for the Derby in the Derby Trial Stakes at the Victorian Provincial Track, Geelong. And now they're at the barrier for the Blue Ribbon Classic, the Victoria Derby.
Racing in the 83 Derby, Bounty Hawk first away from Not Declared and Count Mendip. Handsome Seattle began well. Wider out Albany Bay looking for a posse, and there followed by Irish Lord, Cabobany and Centane. Next is King Delamere, Fine Offer, and last out of the straight will be Triflow. At the 20 to 1200, Cabobany by 2 lengths, Albany Bay shading Handsome Seattle the rails. 4 lengths away, Bounty Hawk being niggled at and a half to Not Declared. 1.5 to Fine Offer. Thompson's off on it round the outside of Irish Lord and Count Mendip. 1.5 lengths, Centane, 1 to Triflow, and King Delamere's last with 800 to go. Cabobany led, a little over length, Albany Bay, Handsome Seattle the rails. Here they come round the outside now, making their runs after the leader. And one of them is Fine Offer, who's improving his position round the outside. Then came Irish Lord as they swept to the corner now. And back behind them, Not Declared, and Bounty Hawk's off again. Cabobany led 1.5 lengths into the straight. Handsome Seattle struggling. Bounty Hawk's making a strong run on the outside, and then Albany Bay. Fine Offer's well gone, and then Not Declared. Bounty Hawk tackling Cabobany at the 200. Cabobany won't give in, and then Albany Bay. It's Bounty Hawk now getting to Cabobany, 150 to go, and he's going to be the best stayer. Bounty Hawk drew to the lead from Cabobany, and then Albany Bay, Handsome Seattle, and Bounty Hawk draws away to score a big win. 1.5 lengths to Cabobany, third Albany Bay, fourth Irish Lord, then Centane, Handsome
Bounty
Seattle.
Hawk is from the first crop of Belmarino, one of the greatest products of the New Zealand breeding industry. Belmarino won.
Several top Melbourne Cup prospects lined up for the Group 1 LKS McKinnon Stakes at Flemington on Derby Day, just 3 days before the Cup itself. The McKinnon has always been a good indicator of Melbourne Cup chances in previous years, although the records show that it's the minor place getters you need to look for rather than the winner.
One to Kiamara now. Here's Kiwi, Slave and Shainu, 4 and 5 wide making their runs. Next Tristram Lad, and then Veloso looking for a split, followed by Nostradamus to the outside from Noble Heights. Round the turn, Hay went to the lead from Kiamara. Glenn Morriston is done, Kiwi Slave coming at them. Tristram Lad trying to get out, Shainu struggling, and then Veloso, he came out suddenly, Cook to make his run. Kiwi Slave took the lead from Kiamara, but Veloso's coming at them quickly on the outside. It's Kiamara fighting back, Veloso doing better, Kiwi Slave the centre, and then Nostradamus. Veloso's taken the lead with 100 to go from Kiwi Slave, and Kiamara fighting back on the inside. But Veloso, hands and heels, is going to win a thrilling McKinnon. About a neck to Kiamara, ahead away Kiwi Slave third. 2 lengths to Mr. Jazz fourth, and then Nostradamus, Noble Heights.
A strong Melbourne Cup trial from Veloso, who's by Zamazan from the speedy Bismarck mare, Top of the Pops.
The history of the Melbourne Cup suggested the winner had almost certainly been seen in one of the lead-up races you've just seen. Punters were thoroughly impressed with the performance of Kiamara in the McKinnon Stakes. The gelding never gave up after working 3 deep for the entire journey. Kiamara was the centre of an enormous betting plunge which saw his price slashed from 9 to 1 to 6 to 1, at which quote he started favourite. But 2 New Zealanders also came in for heavy support from double-figure odds. One of them, the Auckland Cup winner Fountain Court, had started favourite in the Caulfield Cup and had subsequently won the Werribee Cup with 58 kilos. The other, the Wellington Cup winner Kiwi, had not been seen by Australian racegoers. That fact alone was the biggest problem surrounding the 1983 Melbourne Cup, because no winner in the 123-year history of the event had attempted the marathon without at least one lead-up race on local ground. Punters across Australia bet some $60 million on the Melbourne Cup, and 81,300 of them turned up to see it firsthand. The time is 2:40 p.m. on Tuesday, November the 1st, and they're set to run in Australia's greatest race, the Melbourne Cup.
They're racing. And first out was Hussar's Command from La Cocotte, and Triumphal March away well from Bianco Lady Kia Mare. Wider out, Mr. Jazz got away nicely, and coming right from the outside, Combat looking for the lead and getting it, and Hay-I away well. They were followed by English Wonder and Mark Vogel behind them from Nostradamus. Then came Noble Heights, No Peer. To Jormeo next from Amaranth, and well back in the field is Homemade, and Kiwi is last. Onto the course proper, Combat by 3 lengths now. 2 in second place, Thomas, and then came Fountain Court, followed by Homemade, Mevron Boy, Shaynu to the outside. Then Shagamar to Jormeo, and they're followed by Kiwi, and Amaranth has broken down. As they go past the 1,000-metre mark, they're packing up, and Bianco Lady led about a length here to Hay-I. Combat is weakening on the inside, and here's Kia Mare pull to the outside by Dittman. Triumphal March commencing its run as they came down to the turn into the straight, and Mark Vogel is still there. 600 out on the corner, Mark Vogel, Hay-I and Kia Mare in line, and Mr. Jazz and Triumphal March make a line of nearly 5. Noble Comment behind them as they turn for home, and then Bianco Lady. No Peer to the outside, just a dash to Jormeo looking for a run. Kia Mare sprinted clear. At the 300, it's a length and a half to Noble Comment and Mr. Jazz the outside, then Triumphal March, Nostradamus. Kia Mare grabbed by Noble Comment and Mr. Jazz. Mr. Jazz, Noble Comment, Kia Mare clear. Veloso making some sort of a run, and Kiwi late. It's going to be close here. Kiwi's going to beat them all with a mighty run. Kiwi swamps them on the line, and Kiwi's won at a length and a half to Noble Comment. Ahead away third was Mr. Jazz, just behind them No Peer, Veloso and Kia Mare. Then Nostradamus, Hussar's Command, Fountain Court, Shaynu Chagamar. Next Triumphal March to Jormeo, Mark Vogel, Hay-I. Then Just a Dash, Bianco Lady, Mevron Boy. Further back, La Cocotte, Noble Heights, Homemade and English Wonder. And Combat probably the last of...
Kiwi to go forward because I was always thinking of the good inside information from Eric Templeton about getting somewhere near them at the clock tower, or from the half mile to the clock tower. You've still got something like 3.5 furlongs to run. So it was just a matter of playing the waiting game.
100, it's a length and a half to Noble Comment and Mr. Jazz the outside, then Triumphal March, Nostradamus. Kia Mare grabbed by Noble Comment and Mr. Jazz. Mr. Jazz, Noble Comment, Kia Mare clear. Veloso making some sort of a run, and Kiwi late. It's going to be close here. Kiwi's going to beat them all with a mighty run. Kiwi swamps them on the line, and Kiwi's won at a length and a half to Noble Comment. Ahead away third was Mr. Jazz, just behind them. 8 now.
A winning burst that had to be seen to be believed. Many say it was the most demoralising ever seen in a Melbourne Cup. Kiwi was ridden a superb race by top New Zealand jockey Jim Cassidy, who showed great confidence in the horse by not making his run until the final stages of the race. Kiwi is by the American horse Blarney Kiss, who also so-sired the Sydney Cup and AJC Derby winner, Our Paddy Boy. Kiwi was trained by Mr. E.S. Lupton.
The Oaks was now wide open, with top chances being conceded to Taj Eclipse, La Cassière, Rose of Dudley and Casey Bell. But most were surprised at the extent of the support for the New Zealand filly, Mapperley Heights. Mapperley Heights had been lucklessly beaten over 1,600 metres at Moonee Valley 12 days earlier, but most thought that having missed that vital start in the 1,000 guineas, she'd be short of top condition for the testing Oaks journey of 2,500 metres. Nevertheless, a fortune was wagered on Mapperley Heights, with the result she started an 11-8 favourite. Punters had given star apprentice Darren Gouchy a roasting after being beaten on Taj Eclipse in the Wakefield Stakes, and it was suggested that Harry White would replace him in the Oaks. But trainer Bart Cummings elected to stick with the Wonder Boy. The stage is set for the 1983 VRC Oaks. The boys back in the saddle, and it's last. Settling down, and Sabre Dancer from Barenza and Sentimental Lady, and then Casey Bell, Katie Louise looking for the lead, Perfect Bliss, Fancy Filly. Oh, Perfect Bliss has run off the track. He can't hold it on the course. You can forget it. Looks to be 10 in front, but it's not in the race. Coming to the home turn, they pack up now.
Well, I knew Mapley Heights was the horse to beat, and I knew it was between us two. I wasn't too sure of a furlong out, but once I got to it, I was pretty confident she'd go on and win the race.
He is going well, moving up behind them from Casey Bell. Let's see, Taj Eclipse is back second last on the rails, trying to get out, and Mapley Heights down the outside. Corinda Signet swept to the lead, 300 to go, and here comes on the outside Rose of Dudley. Rose of Dudley's grabbed them quickly from La Cassiere, clear of Mapley Heights and Taj Eclipse running on. But it's Rose of Dudley and La Cassiere getting up on the fence. La Cassiere took the lead. Mapley Heights and Taj Eclipse will get them though. It's Mapley Heights and Taj Eclipse charging to the lead. Taj Eclipse took the lead and Taj Eclipse wins it. And next to Mapley Heights, third placing Rose.
Taking the lead on the outside, Mapley Heights, and now Taj Eclipse is rattling home. Rose of Dudley about to be tackled by Mapley Heights, and Taj Eclipse flying, and La Cassiere is getting a run on the inside, close to Homer, and Taj Eclipse is raised up on the outside of Mapley Heights. Taj Eclipse on the outside has won the Oaks. Taj Eclipse has won it a great performance. And next to Mapley Heights second, third Rose of Dudley, fourth La Cassiere.
I rate her amongst the top fillies I rode. She was exceptional, like I said before. She'd sit back and she'd work into the race, and she could sprint at a vital time of the race when the pressure was on, and any filly who can do that over a staying distance is quite good.
Yeah, just weakened on the line fourth, then Corinda Signet followed.
Taj Eclipse is certainly bred to be a classic winner. She's by Taj Rossi, the 1973 Victoria Derby winner and Horse of the Year. Her dam is the imported mare Glad One, who was runner-up in the Irish 1000 Guineas and Oaks.
The Oaks was also particularly significant for Darren Gauci. It was the champion apprentice's 60th Metropolitan win, which meant he'd forfeited his riding allowance with 3 years of his apprenticeship still to serve. Clearly, this was an incredible rise to prominence for a jockey who rode his first city winner only 10 months earlier.
The spring racing took its toll on the top horses, and as a result, a disappointing field lined up to contest the Rich George Adams Handicap. The favourite, at the surprisingly short quote of 7-4, was the New Zealand colt Beechcraft, who'd missed the Derby after the onset of a virus attack. But no one knew for sure if the colt had fully thrown off the effects of his illness.
Feeling fit out off the fence, a length French Current and Worth. Wonder Beechcraft looking to get out from Ranger Sun, and Cool River comes out, gives Ranger Sun a whack. Ranger Sun bumps him again and they're knocking one another over. Honest Promise led with 400 to go from Feeling Fit, French Current, Worth. Beechcraft getting out, they haven't got Honest Promise though. Further back, Cool River can't win, it's Honest Promise in front. Feeling Fit trying to get to it with French Current. Beechcraft under the whip struggling. French Current's going to be the danger to Honest Promise, who's a length in front, but French Current cutting it down. It's Honest Promise a half in front. French Current gradually getting to the outside. Mightn't make it, it's going to be close. Oh, nearly a dead heat, I fancy. Honest Promise might have won it a nostril to French Current, but nothing in it.
Honest Promise won the event simply through toughness, fitness and the desperation of his rider Bruce Compton. He's by the little-known New Zealand-based stallion Desperate D, and a
Gear up again. Just a week after the Adams, the 3-year-olds line up 2,000 kilometres away at Ascot, Perth for the West Australian Derby. After his runaway win in the Victoria Derby a fortnight earlier, Bounty Hawk was all the rage for the event. The gelding had a change of jockey for the Classic, with Mark de Montfort replacing Victoria's premier distance rider, Harry White.
The judge and all believe I got to the leader. Over on the outside, Bounty Hawk is right up there. On the fences, Kabobany battling on harder. There followed one back to Martone Landau. Ashevet's running a big race, followed by Demon Queen, and Handsome Seattle's making a run right around the outside. Onto the corner they pack up. Kabobany on the fence. Over on the outside, Bounty Hawk about to climb it. There followed by our Ashevet, and here comes Handsome Seattle with a good rider. Bounty Hawk rode to the leader. Our Ashevet running second with Handsome Seattle. Old Spice and Old Currency down the outside. Bounty Hawk in front. Old Currency flashing home. Bounty Hawk in front. Old Currency grabbed him and won. Old Currency from Bounty Hawk.
An upset win to the beautifully bred Old Currency, who's by Mr McGinty's sire £1 sterling from the dam of former champion young de Montfort, was the victim of some stern criticism for his ride on Bounty Hawk. But next time out in the Western Mail Classic, De Montfort and Bounty Hawk had their revenge.
Two back in the field, to our Washabit bringing up the rear with no PR as they get inside the 800. On the inside, Albany Bay, a neck from Rare Flyer. Two back to Norm's Delight. Handsome Seattle, close enough if good enough. They're followed by Kiamare down on the inside. Around the outside, Kiwi Slave makes a run, followed by Rosamos. Then came Bounty Hawk coming into the picture. They're followed by Hallpack's Image, Old Currency, and around the outside, McKelvey putting in a run. They pack up on the home turn in this year's Western Mail Classic. Rare Flyer got to the leader. Here comes Kiwi Slave with a big run. He dashed up and took the leader. Handsome Seattle is boxing on hard. They're followed by Bounty Hawk running a big race for the back to Rosamos as they come inside the 200. Kiwi Slave about to be claimed by Bounty Hawk. They're followed by Rare Flyer, no peer. Rosamos coming home in Calamar. It's Bounty Hawk in front, and Bounty Hawk won the Western Mail Classic. Tied for second between Calamar.
That win saw Bounty Hawk become a firm favourite for the $300,000 Channel 7 Australian Derby on Boxing Day, and a firm favourite for the $300,000 Channel 7 Australian Derby on Boxing Day. And when Perth's #1 rider John Miller replaced De Montfort, the Cummings-trained 3-year-old became all the rage. Watch Miller in the brown and green hoops in what ranks as one of the rides of the season.
Set to go. Racing in the Derby. Cabobany bounced out in front on the inside. Getting away well was Old Spice. Cabobany crossing to the inside. Templeman showing speed. Albany Bay up there nicely. And Amico's Shadow now looking for the lead. And Kalia, the filly, coming across from the outside. When they settle down, Nansen back near the rear. Now let's see. Albany Bay's about 6th and Bounty Hawk's trapped 3 wide in about 8th place. 9 hard under pressure from Handsome Seattle, Cabobany. Albany Bay sitting behind them, and Bounty Hawk, Miller trying to drive through in the centre on it. They're followed by Bungling at the head of the others, and Old Currency still last. 600 out near the corner, and Spanish Minstrel took the lead. Kalia's coming at it. Albany Bay out off the fence going quickly. Bounty Hawk trying to get a run in the centre from Handsome Seattle as Albany Bay sprinted to the lead, but Miller's got the run on Bounty Hawk, and it's Albany Bay and Bounty Hawk together round the turn from Handsome Seattle out wide. Kalia's gone. Albany Bay, Bounty Hawk turn together. Nothing between them, clear of Handsome Seattle. Bounty Hawk's going better. Drew a neck in front of on the outside Albany Bay. Then Handsome Seattle followed by Nansen, and Bounty Hawk starting to stride away from Albany Bay. And Bounty Hawk scores a brilliant victory in the Australian Derby. Wins by 4 lengths. Second, Albany Bay hit away the stablemate.
Bounty Hawk had a stranglehold on Perth Cup betting after his effortless Derby win, but had to be withdrawn from the event when trainer Bart Cummings found him to be sore the day before.
Well, running in the Swan Brewery Railway Stakes, My Serena.
Perth's top event for the milers is the $175,000 Swan Brewery Railway Stakes, and as in most years, the race was wide open. The favourite at 3-1 was the Colin Hayes-trained Red Tempo, whose credits included a defeat of the champion Strawberry Road at Weight for Age in Melbourne during the spring. But the most underrated performer in the field was undoubtedly the previous year's Derby winner Sanitate, who'd raced only twice since resuming from a long spell.
Hayes the leader, hit 100, Copper Rocket on the outside, Todd Wilkes on the inside, also going around them fast there is McKelvey, and Questilla making a run right around the outside, back behind them Lord Ballina with Hay Cabby on towards the corner. Questilla exploded up around the outside to take on McKelvey. Todd Wilkes is on the fence battling on her. They're followed further back to Copper Rocket. They're followed by Lord Ballina. Here comes hanging in down the outside with a big rider. It's Questilla in front of the 200. Hanging in now, Snyder Sprout wins. Todd Wilkes is battling on, followed by McKelvey. Whiskey Lover down the outside, and Sanitate rocketing home. Hanging in front, Whiskey Lover, Sanitate. They hit it, Sanitate. I reckon Sanitate's got up to win it from Whiskey Lover or...
Sanitate is by the little-known Santa Bray from the unraced mare Southern Sis. Trainer, the Cup was a wide-open affair with bookmakers freely offering 5-1 the field.
Set to go.
Drawing now, riders, sit quiet.
They're racing in the Cup. Kiamare began very well over near the outside, showing pace early as head for space, and Brahmani going through on the inside towards them with Wrong Page. Back towards the rear, Swift Knights dropped out to last, and Astralin and Patrol Zone are well back, and Moss Kingdom's about 4th or 5th last.
When they settled down, Count Stook had taken the lead up the riverside. Coming up by the 600, Head for Space took the lead. Kiamare's tackling it now. Chagamar's moving up on the outside of Wrong Page as they came to the turn, and Patrol Zone with a big run around them. And Brahmani pull to the outside. No Peers struggling. And further back in the field, Moss Kingdom and Astral in, and they swing for home. Kiamare swept to the lead. From Head for Space out wider on the track, Patrol Zone and Brahmani are starting to run on well. Then Chagamar. Kiamare just in front of the 200, but he's struggling. Here's Moss Kingdom getting clear at the 100, but Kiamare in front. Moss Kingdom is flying all over him. Moss Kingdom raced to the lead near the line. And a mighty performance. Moss Kingdom a half length for Kiamare. Head for Space got third and Nose in front of Nose.
The Cup win completed an exciting rise to prominence for Moss Kingdom, a horse who began his career with a singular lack of distinction on outback West Australian tracks. However, few would disagree with Kiamare's jockey Mick Dittman, who believed the gelding was desperately unlucky not to win.
The Ellerslie Carnival at Christmas time, when the two richest races in New Zealand are run. One of these is the New Zealand Derby, which this year was worth $200,000 thanks to the...
On the turn, 450 metres to go. McGettigan's right there to challenge. Durango as they race into the straight. I'm Henry has been switched out 4 and 5 wide, and he's coming after them, the favourite. Down the straight, 300 to go. Out wide, I'm Henry levelling with McGettigan on the inside. Durango sticking like grim death, and Zephyrin's well in it. Here's Pleasant Star as well. I'm Henry in front, Zephyrin closing with Durango with 100 metres to go. I'm Henry, Zephyrin on the inside, Durango, and out wide, Pleasant Star. I'm Henry with his head in front, going to the post, Zephyrin pulling him back. I'm Henry's beaten, Zephyrin, Durango, and a close photo, and Colonial King right there.
I'm Henry is by Entrepreneur, a winning son of Champion Rebo, and is the only named foal of his non-stud book dam, Ina Baru. The gelding was handled in dashing style by Bob Vance for leading New Zealand trader Colin Gillings.
At $200,000, the Auckland Cup shares top billing with the New Zealand Derby as the...
Racing in the Cup. One of the first out from the inside was Shamrock, going up quickly though. Beaver Boys going for an early posse, followed round by Fountain Court, Rose and Thistle going up also, with Abbott lying about 5th. Now kicking up, Mr. Duthie takes the lead on the inside of Beaver Boys. They work over the rise by the 1100. About a length and a half, Fountain Court drops into the trail from on the outside of it. Rose and Thistle, then Stylish Dude, one out. Eldwain's parked on the outside of these. Lucas Aids for the run on the false rail. Now Mr. Duthie just the leader. Beaver Boy still there on the outside. Fountain Court's had a beautiful run. Then followed Von Sette. Lucas Aids back on the inside. Handy enough too with Eldwain, and out in front. Sprints down the outside as they come off the false rail. 400 to go. Now Mr. Duthie joined by Beaver Boy. Here's Fountain Court storming to the lead. Lucas Aid going the rails, running out wide, is out in front. 250 to go. Fountain Court in front. Beaver Boy, Lucas Aid, and out in front, and Stylish Dude all coming into it. Now it's still Fountain Court, and here's Stylish Dude shot to the lead 100 metres out. Stylish Dude in front. Gun for Fun running on late. Stylish Dude has won the Cup. Second is Gun for Fun, and a photo with Fountain Court gave in a little. Then out in front.
Stylish Dude provided a career highlight for 21-year-old Greg Childs, whose previous big wins included the 1982 and 83 New Zealand Oaks. The six-year
big Christmas New Year fixture at Ellerslie, the capital city of Wellington becomes the focal point of the thoroughbred world. The first attraction at Trentham Racecourse is the Wellington Cup. A
slide coming into it quickly is Lucas Aid, then Gun for Fun. The favourites third last on the bend. Round the corner they come in the Cup, and 400 to go. Secure Deposit levelling up with Gold Bullion. Subtle Knight getting the split, and down the outside here comes Isle of Man. They're followed by Ruanuku, and wider out the Greatness, and wider out the Gun for Fun. They race along Secure Deposit, Isle of Man, and here's Grand Slide down the outside. Isle of Man in front of the Cup. From Secure Deposit the inside, Ruanuku and Grand Slide. It's Isle of Man, Secure Deposit pulling out a bit more. Then Secure Deposit won the Cup from Isle of Man. Subtle Knight's third. Grand Slide.
Secure Deposit was ridden by former jumps jockey Neil Hayne, who gained the mount.
During the running of the New Zealand Derby at Ellerslie, you may have noticed a chestnut filly in green and white colours near the fence, looking to have the race won everywhere by the last stride. Now that was Zephyrin, a filly. That excellent performance against the Colts, when having only her 7th start in a race, made her the one to beat in the $100,000 Group 1 New Zealand Oaks at Trentham.
Further back to Aniti's girl, and in that group as well was Karinska. But on the corner with 400 left to go in the Oaks now, and the leader would be Tornado the inside from Koala Matar. But here's the favourite just sloping up on the outside, Zephyrin. And Zephyrin's going to the lead now from Tornado, Aptitude and Silver on battling hard. Aniti's girl coming well down the inside. 200 left to go, and Zephyr's clear now from Aptitude, and then One Eddie's Girl, followed by Silverwheel. Rush to the tote if you're on Zephyr, she's home and drive. One Eddie's Girl and Aptitude fighting out the minor money, but Zephyr waltzes home. Second home, One Eddie's Girl. Third home, Aptitude.
A stunningly easy win that made her rivals look absolutely second-rate. Zephyrin is owned and bred.
Our next stop on the Australasian Group 1 circuit is Morphettville Racetrack in Adelaide on February 4 with the running of the $130,000 Schweppes Australasian Oaks. This race has been going only 3 years but has already unearthed 2 top-flight fillies in Rose of Kingston and Royal Regatta. This year, the 14-strong field consisted of 9 fillies from interstate, which ensured that the race was on from the outset.
Away, and a pretty tidy sort of a start too. The exception, he's wrist dropping out shortly after the start. Regal Gondola's rider takes hold, as does Tambay's rider. They're dropping out a bit early, and so is Lotka's Star, and so is Kanahoe. They're not going to participate for the early lead. We're going fast now. Working to the front is Katie Louise, the bolter.
The horses, really.
The 600-metre mark, and Casey Bell goes up on the outside to join the leader, Sunita. Beaten off is Katie Louise, dropping out. Regal Gondola next, followed by Use the Space and Secret Bouquet. Rose of Dudley badly in need of a runner's held up behind runners, and Maitland got clear of her. Into the straight, Casey Bell went for home, and on the inside, Sunita followed further back behind those then. Battling away, Regal Gondola, Maitland down the outside, and Rose of Dudley late on the scene, but it's Sunita. Sunita on the inside, and here's Rose of Dudley storming home down the outside, and so is Lotka's Star, and in the centre battling away Eastern Temple, and also Use the Space. They go to the line. Oh, it's very tight. Use the Space, the Victorian filly is won from...
Use the Space is yet another example of how well the brilliant Australian speed sires blend with the stoutly bred New Zealand mares. The filly is by the former Group 1 winning sprinter Star of Heaven, out of an unraced daughter of the champion stallion Sovereign Edition.
We now head back to New Zealand to view the Air New Zealand Stakes, New Zealand's counterpart of our Cox Plate or Tancred Stakes. McGinty, or Mr McGinty as Australian racegoers know him, was the centre of attention as he'd just returned from Tokyo, where he ran a mighty race to finish 5th in the Japan Cup. He was opposed to the top weight for age performer Commissionaire, and the Battle of the Giants had been billed as Star Wars.
Half-length Secret Ace going up on its quarters. Right in the trail then is McGinty. On the outside of him, Commissionaire now snookering him 1.5 lengths then John as they work down towards the 600 metres. Fountain Court works round on the outside for Noel Harris. 1.5 lengths then is Isle of Man Ashler and Beaver Boy. Around the bend, 500 metres to go. Silver Rose joined by Commissionaire. Now Cassidy's taken him to the lead quickly. Back on the inside, McGinty snookered for a moment from Secret Ace as they head in. Commissionaire heads for the lead now from on the outside. Here's McGinty switching 2 out. He's coming after him. Silver Rose sticking grimly on the inside. McGinty coming at Silver Rose. He's headed off Commissionaire as they race down 300 to go. McGinty in front. Silver Rose. Big runs from Fountain Court late. McGinty in front going to the post. Fountain Court. McGinty's in front. He's going to win his second Air New Zealand. He's bolted in. Second is Silver Rose. Third Isle of Man from John. Fountain Court.
The supposed clash of the heavyweights was a fizzer, with Commissionaire performing lengths below his best form. However, after the race, Commissionaire was found to have swelling in one of his front joints. So much for the vanquished. For the victor, the reward was another trip to Australia, where his next match race, a bout with Emancipation, was eagerly awaited.
The feature of the first day of the February meeting is the Group 1 Oakley Plate, this year worth $101,000. The Oakley Plate is regarded as Australia's toughest test of a speed horse, and the list of past winners includes such champions as Dual Choice, Zephyr Bay, Cetius and Tontonen. This season's Oakley Plate was as tough as any in memory, so it came as no surprise to see 3 horses hit the line absolutely locked together.
They're racing at the first attempt, and they jumped away in a pretty good line. Harpagus has begun very well out wide on the track, within the slot going fast, and Bowl Brother burning towards the lead with Warrior King and Bow Mistress. They were followed over near the inside division, now going up quickly. Ideal Planet has headed them all off, and Razor Sharp's up for the 5th from Feeling Fit.
After they'd gone a furlong, I was quite shattered. I thought something must have gone amiss with him because, as I just said, he's always been up in the first 3 or 4, and they went that fast. They just beat him for speed, and he's a horse that can show, quite an amount of speed.
Ideal Planet, Bowl Brother on the inside of them, and in the slot wider, Warrior King the centre, 2 lengths Feeling Fit. Then came looking for the run on the inside is Razor Sharp, and Bow Mistress trying to get between them. Ideal Planet kicked about 3 in front as they turned for home. He's dashed right away from Bowl Brother, Bow Mistress and Harpagus. Ideal Planet feeling the strain. Bow Mistress cutting him down, and then came on the outside Harpagus. Harpagus flying, and Mighty Avalanche. Bow Mistress got to the front. Mighty Avalanche and Harpagus grab it. Oh, Mighty Avalanche has nearly won it. It's a great three-way photo. Mighty Avalanche the centre, Harpagus the outside.
That fantastic finishing burst by Mighty Avalanche saw the horse become hot property as a potential sire. A matter of days after the race, he was bought for a syndicated value of $500,000. Mighty Avalanche was trained by Terry Courtney and ridden in the Oakley Plate by Stephen Burridge.
Light is on, they're racing at the first attempt. Centane and French Current began well over on the inside. Keepers is away pretty well too as they settle down. Cool River up with them, and Honest Promise is going to head them all off. Honest Promise drives around.
In the weeks leading up to the Futurity Stakes, the papers had been full of conjecture about the smart Century colt Centane. The 3-year-old was reportedly the centre of $1 million plus offer from American interest, with the proviso that he could prove himself a worthy Group 1 horse in the Futurity. The colt was sent out short-priced favourite at 10 to 9 on, with the New Zealander Red Tempo well in commission at 9 to 4.
Nicely fourth, half to Cool River, 2 to Red Tempo and Keepers, 2 to Bin Binker, and last Mr. Ironclad. Past the 800 and Honest Promise about a half length to French Current. Third, Copper Rocket, and on the inside then is Centane. He's moved off the fence, let Keepers get up on his inside. One away then Cool River. Red Tempo switched to the inside trying to follow Keepers. 2 to Bin Binker and Mr. Ironclad. On the corner, Honest Promise and French Current together. A length and a half, Keepers, Centane, Copper Rocket. Red Tempo couldn't get a run. He's pulled 4 deep and then Cool River. In the straight, Honest Promise the leader. Centane's got out. French Current put his head in front for a stride. Red Tempo coming at them. Centane and Red Tempo make their runs together with Keepers on the inside. It's Keepers dashing to the lead. Red Tempo getting him out wide with Centane. The 3 of them in line. Keepers still in front on the inside. Red Tempo grabbing him. It's very close. Keepers all. Red Tempo nearly a dead heat. Centane.
Red Tempo gained the verdict from Keepers by a short half head, with Centane another half head away in third place.
Our attention to the autumn 2-year-old races. The first is the $175,000 Blue Diamond Stakes, Victoria's richest 2-year-old race, which is run at Caulfield on March the 3rd. The 4-race series known as the Blue Diamond Preludes had produced 4 different winners, and the most impressive of these, the jukebox colt Slick Draw, started favourite in the Blue Diamond at 7 to 2.
Now in the Blue Diamond, Martek and Slick Draw began well over near the inside. When they settle down into stride, it's a great battle. However, Kingston, Jamaica and Street Cafe out wide on the track, and Silky Rims going fast along the inside. Base Fee was up with them with Wink at Me, Vane Rossi, and then Martek over on...
He just kept trying, and all I want to do is get to the line.
Slick Draw badly held up from Martek, also on the rails, Fair Verdict, and then Brave Salute. Spirit of Kingston and Rash Dancer pull to the outside, are back at the tail. Street Cafe led from Base Fee well into the straight now with Fair Verdict coming at them on the outside. Slick Draw's got out, but they're not going fast enough at the moment, and Fair Verdict's out after Street Cafe, and Slick Draw down the outside, Street Cafe in front, being ridden for dear life. Street Cafe is going to hang on and win, and Brendan's broken back. Street Cafe's won at an hectare. Fair Verdict, Slick Draw third from Rest.
Australia's most important sprint race is the Newmarket Handicap, which is run down the straight 1,200 metre track at Flemington on the opening day of the Victoria Racing Club's 3-day autumn carnival. Apart from the Oakley Plate and the Futurity, the most significant lead-up race for the Newmarket contenders is the Group 2 Lightning Stakes, which is run over 1,000 metres at Flemington under weight for age conditions some 3 weeks before the big race. With River Rough having proved himself down the Flemington Straight on 2 occasions during the season, the Bob-hoisted train galloper was the logical favourite for the $155,000 sterling Newmarket Handicap on March 10.
Start all, get rid of them quickly, lights on, away they go. Ideal Planet began well over near the inside. River Rough began brilliantly and showing some speed too when they settled down. Is He's a Haze over there on the inside bridge on the extreme outside. He's a Haze just led from River Rough on the flat side. They're about a length in front of the crossing at the 800. They were followed by Cardinals Fury and Ideal Planet, and then came Razor Sharp, Fiesta Star, Royal Regatta. Back behind them is Like a Planet, and then Harpagus under the whip making ground from Bow Mistress and Centane. Out at top post behind them, out on the outside, Nouvelle Stars hit the front there from Worth, Flash Doll and Heron Bridge. They're in front on the outside. Nouvelle Star in front, Heron Bridge coming at it, and Flash Doll battling on with River Rough on the fence. Nouvelle Star in front out wide with Heron Bridge. River Rough on the rails, they're fighting it out. Heron Bridge takes the lead, it'll win the Newmarket. Heron Bridge a half length to Nouvelle Star. River Rough third.
It certainly looked as though the vagaries of the Flemington Straight had been the only thing standing between River Rough and his second Group 1 win for the season. The winner, Heron Bridge, is regarded as one of Perth's best sprinters and captured the Newmarket in a daring hit-and-run visit to Melbourne.
Stand, racing. Frame a little bit slow to begin, and one very slowly away was Sharmack.
Although Street Cafe had provided a shock result with his all-the-way win in the Blue Diamond, punters looked to the Boom Sir Tristram colt Frame as the likely winner of the 1400 metre Sires Produce Stakes at Flemington 9 days later. Jockey Brendan Clements retained the mount on Street Cafe, and the pair turned in another impressive display.
Regained performance again.
Together, a length and a half. Wentworth tucked in on the fence. Lord of Camelot out about 3 or 4 deep with Blazing Devil. A length then to Kentish. They were followed by Trista Light and then Cardi Star, Shammack and Framed last into the straight, pull to the outside. At the 400, and Clements getting to work on Street Cafe. It took the lead narrowly from top banner. Trista Light under the whip. Framed is not going on. He's not going to run a drum frame. Street Cafe took the lead. Trista Light's going to be the danger, and then Wentworth. Clements went for the whip on Street Cafe. He's a length in front, holding Trista Light. Trista Light trying to get to Street Cafe. Street Cafe in front. Clements throwing everything at it. Trista Light's grabbing him on the line. Didn't make it. And Street Cafe's one at a nose to Trista Light. Close third, Lord of Camelot.
Street Cafe is the best horse yet sired by the prolific Widden stud stallion Lunchtime, and is bred by Jack and Bob Ingham and trained at Randwick by Theo Green.
Event for the older horses in Melbourne during the autumn is the Australian Cup, a Group 1 handicap over 2,000 metres at Flemington. One of the stars of the lead-up races was the 7-year-old Penny Edition, who had won the Blame Equality and the St George Stakes, both Group 2 races over 1,600 metres. But while Penny Edition was making easy work of the group races, the 4-year-old Sir Tristram horse Admiral Lincoln had won 4 races on end, beginning with a modest 1,400 metre welter at the provincial track of Cranbourne. On Australian Cup Day, Penny Edition started favourite at 11-2, but the Admiral came in for excellent support to start 4th favourite at 9-1. With it, they're making ground. Cool Rivers dropping back along the rails. Noble Comment about 5 wide now, starting to come into the picture. Triumphal March even wide is coming into it, and Admiral Lincoln, he's trying to thread his way through the field. Gala Mascott's dropped right.
Actually, I jumped away slowly, and after I'd gone 300 metres, I was on the fence, and I got off the fence getting past the 1400, and finished up following Mr Jazz from about there. I had a really good run through the race till I got to the crossing, and I was going that well. I had to steady him a little bit, and actually I've spoken to him. I said, "Well, boy, you know, he's going easy."
True's the one coming hard at it, and here's Admiral Lincoln. Admiral Lincoln, young Foresters winding it up down the outside. Loyal and True took the lead. Admiral Lincoln raced to it. They're fighting it out. It's Admiral Lincoln on the outside, and Loyal and True stride for stride. They hit it. Admiral Lincoln. The Admiral's won it.
Admiral Lincoln is just another in the seemingly endless chain of Group 1 winners by Cambridge Stud's incredible Sir Ivor stallion Sir Tristram. He's a meters.
The weight for age racing in Sydney in the autumn was the best for many years. Sir Dapper had returned to racing with 2 sensational wins, one of them at the expense of Emancipation. The mare bounced back with an effortless victory in the Apollo Stakes at Randwick at the end of February, and we've already seen how easily Mr McGuinty handled his New Zealand opposition after returning from Japan. With Emancipation and Mr McGuinty in top form, their match race would have been worth going a long way to see. But throw in Strawberry Road, No Pier, Tresaro, Hay-Eye and Veloso, and you have one of the weight-for-age highlights of the Australian racing year, the exciting and controversial AJC Chipping Norton Stakes.
Then Tie Anchor, and they're followed by Sanitate. Well back as No Pier. Tresaro dropped out next to last, and King Delamere. Kiamare went up on terms with Mr McGuinty as they travelled to the 600 metres. They're 2 lengths clear over Hay-Eye. A hit away running on nicely is Emancipation, being niggled out a bit here. Then came Strawberry Road, who might be suited by this fierce pace. Then a gap to Veloso, followed by Sanitate. Well back as Tresaro. No Pier is well back in the field, followed by Tyanka and King Delamere. Mr McGuinty headed up for the judge, and it kicked away from Kiamare, who's feeling the pinch. Emancipation giving chase to Mr McGuinty, but he's going well halfway down the straight, and Strawberry Road's coming with a blockbuster run. Mr McGuinty claimed by Emancipation at the 100 metres. Emancipation went to the lead to hit the lead from Mr McGuinty. Tresaro flies, but the mare has just beaten Tresaro, I think.
The Chipping Norton proved to be an invaluable form guide for the remainder of the autumn, as Sydney in the autumn is a paradise for top 3-year-olds. The first Group 1 race for the classic colts is the $100,000 Canterbury Guineas on March 28, the first of the 3-year-old Triple Crown series, which carries a huge cash bonus. Punters quickly sorted the race out as containing only 2 chances: the Colin Hayes trained Beechcraft and the dual Derby winner Bounty Hawk. In broad terms, the punters were right on target, with the 2 favourites fighting the Guineas out right to the line.
Out of that division, followed by Pacala, Bounty Hawk, King Delamere, and Beechcraft was last. And has travelled Pacala, followed by Bounty Hawk, and then Beechcraft, and King Delamere has dropped out last. They passed the 800, and Guineas has the speed on, leading about 2 in advance of Rising Prince, not declared. A hit away fourth, then as top of the nap, and they're followed by Blue Regent, Wage Freeze, and then Ewan Gamble. Triflow making ground through a middle split, and they're followed then by Getting Back, Regal Advice, Bounty Hawk up along the rails, followed by Galway Prince, Beechcraft. King Delamere's next to last, and Pacala trails the field. Rising Prince nicely clear over Guineas as they race to the home bend. Not declared is in behind those, running on nicely, and they're followed then at the head of the others by making ground. Bounty Hawk coming around them rapidly. Rising Prince led, but Bounty Hawk is closing very quickly on the leader, and soon after Bounty Hawk ranged up to hit the lead from Rising Prince. Triflow's in behind those. The leader, Bounty Hawk, from Triflow now with about 100 left to run. Bounty Hawk in front of Triflow. Here's Beechcraft coming at 100 miles an hour down the outside, and they hit the line of Beechcraft or Bounty Hawk when they hit the line.
Once again, Bounty Hawk's rider was the centre of criticism. This time the recipient was John Marshall. Beechcraft's Canterbury Guineas win was yet another Group 1 race to fall to the Colin Hayes, Robert Sangster, Brent Thompson combination. Normally, the Canterbury Guineas is the only guide needed to find the winner of the Rose Hill Guineas. But this year, punters were forced to seriously consider the form which came out of the Group 2 Far Lap Stakes.
Opening, and they're followed by Alibi. Soon after, keepers on the outside went to the lead, but Beechcraft and Mr. Ironclad and Alibi are descending. Soon after, Beechcraft coming at Alibi near the line. Alibi in front. It'll be tight. Alibi and Beechcraft and Mr. Ironclad went across the line.
While Beechcraft...
Mr. McGinty's next appearance was in the Group 1 Rawson Stakes, a $100,000 race over 2,000 metres at Rose Hill under weight for age conditions.
Followed by Hey I, and then came Admiral Lincoln, and then came Sanitate. They're followed by Tresaro on the inside of No Peer, who's well back, and then came Mr. Jazz, Gurner's Lane and Mapperley Heights, and English Wonder last. Inside the 800, Kiamare led, but Strawberry Road is getting closer on the outside, is only about 3/4 of a length off. 2 in advance of Fountain Court, Penny Edition, then Mr. McGinty and Stylish Jude. In behind them, Admiral Lincoln is running on fairly well. Hey I, and then No Peer. Tresaro, Gurner's Lane, and they're followed then by Mr. Jazz, Mapperley Heights. English Wonder has dropped out next to last, and Sanitate. Strawberry Road shot to the lead on straightening up. Kiamare's handy. Now Mr. McGinty's coming after the leader. They're followed by Fountain Court, Penny Editions putting in a run. Strawberry Road is claimed by Mr. McGinty on the outside, who's coming home well. It's Mr. McGinty claiming Strawberry Road. They're settling down to battle it out. Mr. McGinty hit the lead inside the 100, and he's pulling away from Strawberry Road. And the Game Little Champion races home to win it. Tresaro flashed up for second, Admiral Lincoln third.
The Rawson was Mr. McGinty's second Group 1 success for the season and confirmed his reputation as the best 2,000 metres horse in either Australia or New Zealand. The gallant little New Zealand colt was then nominal favourite for the $300,000 Bowater Scott Tancred Stakes.
Bounced back to her best in the Chipping Norton Stakes. But there was much more to come from the First Lady of the Turf. The sequence beginning in the $100,000 Rosemount Wines Classic. This 1,500 metre race is restricted to fillies and mares and received Group 1 standing for the first time this year. Emancipation was allotted the maximum top weight of 60 kilograms and was a hot favourite at even money.
So their racing got them to a good start, and getting away wrong, Mr. Leto began well. Gelsomino and Tempestuous were slow, but on settling down, White Jewel is collared by Lacaziere, and darting through, used the space, headed that pair, and they're followed then by getting through along the inside. Selena's Love, Emancipation in that division, and they're followed then by...
Hit inside her, and then the gap appeared, and the race was sort of, once you got a momentum up, the race was over in a twinkling, and for her to sprint with 60 kilos on her back, I thought was an excellent effort, really.
Fourth, then Lacaziere, Emancipation back on the inside of Seeker's Gold. Royal Regatta's coming around the field in good style. Selena's Love and White Jewel headed up for the judge clear. Use the space, hook to the outside. Emancipation is trying to break out of a pocket, and she's seeing a bit of daylight now, but Lacaziere went to the front. Emancipation barging through that opening now is coming at them, and here's Royal Regatta on the outside. It's Emancipation, claimed by Royal Regatta, with Tempestuous running on well, but she's too good, the filly, the mare, and she's racing right away, Emancipation. Tempestuous second, Royal Regatta third.
Emancipation's win in the Rosemount Classic convinced Connection she was worthy of a return bout with the mighty vane colt Sir Dapper in the Ryder Stakes a week later. The colt was favourite at 5 to 4 on.
I put more thought into this race, along with Neville Begg, than I've ever put into a race in my life. And we sat down and had long talks about it. And, we went back to the Way for Age race at Warwick Farm when she narrowly beat Tressaro and Mr McGinty when they run a course record. And we established that she could maintain pressure for virtually the whole race. And if we could put the pressure on Sir Dapper, which no one thought we'd go out with those tactics, it may work out. And that's exactly what happened. And, unfortunately, Sir Dapper got caught in a pocket, and he did look unlucky on the day. But I think, thinking back, I think he may have had his chance.
Sovereign Chief has dropped out last. Secret Romance led the way from Emancipation. The rider looks confident on Emancipation as they make the turn. They're followed by Red Tempo. Sir Dapper getting up on the inside rail. Then at the head of the others, Centane and Youngblood, but Emancipation coming at Secret Romance. Sir Dapper's locked into a pocket as Red Tempo moved up on the outside of it, and Emancipation shot clear with 100 to go. Sir Dapper's giving the mare a long start. Whether he can make it or not, I don't think so. The mare's going too well, and she's home and hosed. And Emancipation wins from Sir Dapper. A long way back, Centane headed across the line.
While Veitchevel was being trained for the shorter races during the autumn, the performances of Alibi and Mr Ironclad were excellent Rosehill Guineas trials. On April 7th, the time for the clash between Bounty Hawk, Beechcraft and the two newcomers arrived.
Delamere followed by Not Declared, who's well back in the field to I'm a Prince. Mr Ironclad is next to last and Bounty Hawk trails the field. And the run down the back, Durango and Bounty Hawk about 900 to go, and Durango led the way from Golden Daniel. The best part of a length away third, Rising Prince, and then came Alibi in fourth placing, travelling well. The next is Wage Freeze, followed then by Beechcraft taking closer order, followed by King Delamere. There's Triflow whipping around in company with Not Declared. In behind the Mima Prince and Mr Ironclad is next to last and Bounty Hawk is last. But now the field is starting to pack up. They race up to approach the home turn. Durango led from Rising Prince and Golden Daniel. Alibi Let Go is coming around them. So is Beechcraft and Triflow, with Bounty Hawk and Mr Ironclad about 8 or 10 deep as they make the turn into the straight. Durango claimed by Rising Prince and Alibi at the ledger. Wage Freezers boxed up on the rails, and they're followed by Beechcraft, who's coming home well. Down to the 200 metres, Rising Prince is claimed by Alibi on the outside. Alibi hit the lead from Rising Prince. Now Beechcraft is the danger coming after Alibi. Alibi in front of Beechcraft, near home, and Alibi has beaten, I'd say, Beechcraft and Rising Prince.
Alibi is a son of the champion vaguely noble stallion, Noble Bijou, who's also the sire of the multiple group winner, Allez Bijou.
Golden Slipper Stakes. This season, the Golden Slipper replaced the Melbourne Cup as the richest race decided in Australasia with a total value of $400,000. Now they're under starters' orders for the Golden Slipper Stakes of 1984.
On the move. They're racing, and Giostra got the best of the start, and Love a Kiss and Fair Verdict was slow, but Ravage shot clear from Hula Drum on settling down, and they're followed then by County getting through on the inside. Then Vain Display, and they're followed by Inspired in a good place, and then Peach Choice cutting across Royal Troubadour.
It suited me fine when Peach Choice come across, and he probably helped me win it really, because I had to ease to miss his heels. And I copped a bit of a check, but not all that much. But it suited me getting back and getting him balanced and letting him come home. I think Golden Slipper was just an unbelievable thrill. I just couldn't believe it. All I was worried about was getting to the line first. It was a very big thrill.
After a gap then by County, Giostra making ground, Royal Troubadour, and then came Pashenka's Gem, Fair Verdict, Slick Draw well back in the field, Spirit of Kingston, Ras Dancer, and Irradiate has dropped out last. Peach Choice soon after, Vain Display on the outside, raced up to hit the lead, and it shows out from Ravage with Hula Drum. Here's Inspired down the outside. Might tip them all out. Inspired raced up to Royal Troubadour. Inspired clear now. Love a Kiss is going out after Inspired, but Inspired clear from Royal Troubadour, and Inspired wins the Golden Slipper. I'd say Love a Kiss or very, very tight for the third there.
Inspired is the second successive Golden Slipper winner sired by Vain, who was represented last year by the champion Sir Dapper. Like Street Cafe, Inspired is out of a Todman mare and is trained by Theo Green. Top Sydney apprentice Darren Beedman is the youngest rider to win Australia's richest two-year-old race. Now was then nominal favourite for the $300,000 Bowater Scott Tancred Stakes over 2,400 metres a fortnight later. but he was ousted as the public's top fancy after heavy rain affected the track rating.
Start. Oh, No Peer corkscrewed and dropped right out. No Peer refused to go with the field, and this left Bounty Hawk in advance of Strawberry Road, who's taking up a field.
Punters pinned their faith in Tressaro on the strength of his excellent placings behind Emancipation and Mr. McGinty at his previous 2 starts.
So well back, and they're followed by Tressaro, Beechcraft, with Sanitate and English Wonder back at the tail end of the field. They've Wonder, who dropped out next to last, and Sanitate. 700 to go, and Strawberry Road led Fountain Court, with Admiral Lincoln coming into it steadily. Mr. McGinty fourth on the rails, followed by Veloso. Hey-I was being shaken up, and then came Tressaro, getting a bit closer now. Bounty Hawk back on the rails, and then came Kiamare, followed by Beechcraft and Sanitate. Stylish Judas next to last, and English Wonder tails the field. Strawberry Road led, and it shows out to Fountain Court, moving to second as they go bound past the ledger. Bounty Hawk's coming out after this, but Strawberry Road shot right away. And Strawberry Road opens up about 3 lengths on Fountain Court and Bounty Hawk. Admiral Lincoln's flashing home well, and so is Hey-I. Tressaro's giving them a long start. Strawberry Road led the way now. Hey-I is cutting it back. Hey-I finishing all over Strawberry Road, and Hey-I races home to win it. Hey-I has beaten Tressaro, who flew. Beechcraft third, then Bounty Hawk.
Hey-I's win was further proof of the stallion's liking for rain-affected ground. The Tancred was also the last big race win in a highlight-filled career for popular Sydney rider Neville Voigt, who retired from race riding the following June.
One of the features of the AJC Carnival is the running of the Doncaster Handicap, a time-honoured race over the toughest of all Australian 1600-metre circuits. The 1984 Doncaster suffered from the scratching of 4 of the top fancies: Emancipation, Sir Dapper, Prolific, and the New Zealand galloper Clear Gold, leaving a field which lacked the depth of previous years. The vice-regal colt Veet Chevelle earned favouritism with an effortless win in the Sir Robert Askin at Rose Hill the week beforehand.
They're racing in the Doncaster Handicap, and Sanita got the best of it. Sovereign Chief and Tempestuous slow, but Sanita headed by Like a Planet, with Albany Bay getting in there, and they're followed by Northern Reward, Vivacity and Gelsomino, and then came Trenchton, Veet Chevelle, and they're followed by Royal Regatta. Vivacity back on the inside of Tempestuous Bencara. They're followed by Andaman, who's third last, followed by Row of Waves and Sovereign Chief. Sanita led Like a Planet at the 800 metres, Albany Bay third. They're followed by Gelsomino ahead away, then Northern Reward. They're followed then by Trench Digger Tulsanite. He's a Warrior forcing a passage, and they're followed by Royal Regatta. Then came Shifnal Prince and Veet Chevelle. Bencara's off the track, and then Tempestuous. Vivacity well back to Row of Waves, and they're followed by Andaman in front of only Sovereign Chief. Sanita led the way to Like a Planet, putting in the bid with Gelsomino and Albany Bay handy. Northern Reward is trying to push up on the fence, and here's Veet Chevelle down the outside in company with Royal Regatta. It's Veet Chevelle down the outside coming at the leaders. Royal Regatta's going with it. It's Royal Regatta and Veet Chevelle singling away from Sanita. Veet Chevelle just in front of Royal Reward. They get down. Royal Regatta coming at Veet Chevelle. Oh, it's tight. Veet Chevelle or Royal Regatta when they hit the line. Sovereign Chief third.
Veet Chevelle, like Prolific, is a member of the first crop of Vice Regal, a stallion that looks set for a highly successful career. Veet Chevelle had to withstand a protest from Wayne Harris on the runner-up Royal Regatta, but after due deliberation, the objection was dismissed.
They're racing, and Flash Doll and Aerolino got the best of the start. Worth slow. Rosebrook came out well, and so...
One of 2 additions to the list of Group 1 races on the Australian racing calendar is the Galaxy, a top-class sprint over 1,100 metres at Randwick on the opening day of their autumn carnival. With a list of previous winners, including Bletchingley, Luskin Star, Hit It Benny, Mistress Anne and Grey Receiver, there was no doubt about the race's entitlement to the higher rating. The New Zealand sprinter, Mr. Illusion, who'd been beaten over 1,200 metres at Rose Hill the previous week, was the public elect at 7-2.
And they're followed then by Novell Star, followed then at the head of the others, then by Rosebrook, who's hooked to the outside. Quito Girl getting through along the rails. A long way back, Mr. Illusion, and Open the Door was last. Razor Sharp loomed up to Aerolino halfway down the straight, and it's Razor Sharp booting away from Aerolino. In behind them, Flash Doll, March Magic, followed by Worth, with Novell Star out after Razor Sharp. Razor Sharp in front of Flash Doll. Novell Star storming down the middle, and Novell Star raced up to Razor Sharp. It's Novell Star. Mr. Illusion coming after Novell Star. Might get there. It's tight. They hit the line. Mr. Illusion and Novell Star, with Razor Sharp in third placing. Then
Mr. Illusion's sensational finishing burst in the Galaxy was one of the highlights of the autumn. The horse was ridden by former Premier Sydney rider Kevin Langby, and was trained by Bruce Marsh, who's best known to Australians as the jockey of the 1971 Melbourne Cup winner, Silver Knight.
The field starts to pack now, and again Peter Cook slows on the leader Kia Mare and bunches the field up to about 4 or 5 lengths coverage, and Kia Mare led from Penny Edition by the best part of a length and a quarter off third is Tresaro, and the last is Fountain Court, and he'd be about...
The AJC designed the Queen Elizabeth Stakes with the expressed intention of providing owners and trainers with a perfect lead up to the Sydney Cup 5 days later. The committee would have been extremely disappointed when only 4 horses went to the post for the event, which after all carried $50,000 in prize money, as well as its Group 1 status.
Head away on the outside, fourth and last is Fountain Court. They move up now, they have about 700 metres to go, and Kia Mare on the inside and Penny Edition are battling hard for the lead. Kia Mare might lead by about a head now from Penny Edition as they race on the home turn. A length and a half off Tresaro, with Fountain Court being ridden hard at this stage. Around the turn now, and Kia Mare on the rails, just led. Penny Edition on the outside, Fountain Court's running on stoutly behind those, and Tresaro is locked away into a pocket on the inside rail. Down to the 200, Kia Mare led Penny Edition. Now Fountain Court is coming out after the leader, Kia Mare. The rider pulls the whip on Fountain Court. Kia Mare leads by a length and a half. Fountain Court's putting in a burst, but Kia Mare is holding Fountain Court at bay. Fountain Court trying hard, but can't make it, and Kia Mare has beaten Fountain Court. A brilliant ride by Cook. Tresaro is third, and the last is Penny Edition.
Out in the Canterbury and Rosehill Guineas, Bart Cummings' Vice Regal, called Prolific, was stylishly preparing for a crack at the best milers in the Doncaster Handicap. Prolific's win in the Tulloch Stakes on Slipper Day was a beauty, leaving a smart field lamenting as he let go with a powerful sprint over the concluding stages.
King Delamere is in the third placing, but Prolific is going to be far too good, and Prolific has beaten Pleasant Star.
Meanwhile, Alibi, Beechcraft and Bounty Hawk dominated discussions for the $250,000 AJC Derby. That three-way contest became a race in 4, less than a week before the Classic, when the shock announcement was made that Prolific's owners had demanded the gelding start in the Derby, not the Doncaster. Despite Cummings' protests that Prolific had not been trained for the Randwick 2400 metres, Prolific took his place in the Derby of 1984.
Them to a good start. I'm a Prince stood there and lost a couple of lengths out of the gates, and Essential and Rising Prince are claimed now by Bounty Hawk, Alibi and Persistent Lad. Beechcraft has eased out of that division, but Mr. Ironclad shot clear at the judge now from Persistent Lad, moving up on the inside of it, and they're followed closely by Essential, Rising Prince, Alibi, Admiral Flash, Bounty Hawk, Pleasant Star, Freedom Road and Beechcraft, and then King Delamere, Tri-Flow. I'm a Prince easing back out of that division, followed by Durango, Prolific, and Port Fair has dropped out last. A Pleasant Star in front, but Admiral Flash is coming at it now with about 900 to go, and Admiral Flash shot to the lead from Pleasant Star, going up to approach the 800. 2.5 to Persistent Lad, ahead away Mr. Ironclad. Alibi taking closer order in company then with Freedom Road, and then came Rising Prince. Essential, Bounty Hawks travelling fairly well, then Beechcraft back King Delamere. They're followed by Durango, Prolific, followed by I'm a Prince and Port Fair. And Tri-Flow has dropped out last. Pleasant Star led Admiral Flash and Mr. Ironclad as they approach the home turn. The riders working hard on Alibi on the outside of those, and they're followed by Essential, Persistent Lad, Rising Prince, Bounty Hawks coming into it, and so is Beechcraft around the outside. Pleasant Star headed up for the judge, taken on by Mr. Ironclad and Alibi went to the lead from Mr. Ironclad. Now Beechcraft and Bounty Hawk and Prolific are storming down the outside. This will be an exciting derby. The leader Alibi claimed by Prolific, who went to the lead. Prolific in front inside the 200 to stablemate Bounty Hawk, and Alibi. Prolific in front from Bounty Hawk, and Alibi kicking again. But Prolific beat Alibi. Beechcraft third, Bounty
The form had worked out extremely well, with the place getters being the winners of the Tulloch Stakes, Rosehill Guineas and Canterbury Guineas respectively. Prolific is a member of the first crop of Vice Regal, a former outstanding weight for age galloper who won 21 races on both sides of the Tasman.
And they're away and racing, and Victory Prince got the best of it. Lord of Camelot and Inspired were a bit...
Connections decided that Inspired should be given the opportunity to emulate Baguette and Luskin Star in completing the Sydney 2-year-old Triple Crown, the Golden Slipper Stakes, the Sire's Produce Stakes and the Champagne Stakes. But while young Beedman was the toast of Sydney after capturing the Slipper, punters were more inclined to give him a grilling after this event.
By Vincenzo as they move on to the course proper with 900 to go. Red Anchor third on the outside of Inspired and G. Ostra. They're followed by Victory Prince, Lord Camelot, and Spirit of Kingston has dropped out last. Vincenzo on the outside, but Rastancer takes the lead away now from Vincenzo. They pass the 800 metres by a head. Vincenzo second. They're followed then by Red Anchor. Tucked in behind them, Giostra. Inspired is holding the rails in advance of Victory Prince and then Lord of Camelot and Spirit of Kingston. At the 600 metres, Rash Dancer just has the lead from Vincenzo, with Red Anchor making a run on the outside of this pair. In behind them, Giostra. Inspired is ridden a bit here, followed by Victory Prince. Lord of Camelot next to last and Spirit of Kingston last. Vincenzo raced up on the outside of Rash Dancer and they're claimed by Red Anchor on the outside. Inspired is pushed along behind those, and here's Victory Prince making a strong run down the outside. Victory Prince raced up to hit the lead. Spirit of Kingston's coming on the scene with a good run, but Victory Prince led Rash Dancer and Red Anchor, with Spirit of Kingston coming out after Victory Prince, but he's got the sires sewn up, I would think, and Victory Prince has beaten Red Anchor.
Remembering how well Victory Prince had fared when third to Inspired in the Pango Pango quality, it was amazing to think that the colt could be at odds of 80 to 1 over a more suitable distance.
$100,000 AJC Oaks was regarded as a race in 5, with the Australian-trained fillies Mapley Heights, La Caissière, Use the Space and Sanita opposed to the visiting New Zealander La Savron. Sydney racegoers knew to respect La Savron, if for no other reason than that her trainer Dave O'Sullivan had successfully plundered the rich Sydney races year after year.
The button, and they're racing. Got them to a perfect line in the Oaks, a perfect start it was, and Use the Space is getting through along the inside, but String of Pearls and Cal Malla are taking it on. And String of Pearls went to the lead over Use the Space and Canmal, and then Star Guinea followed by Kanahoe Sanita, La Caissière Condescend Eastern Temple followed by Extreme Joy, outside of Fadamar Watching and Nazan, and then La Savron, who were well back. They're followed by Look Aloft, and Mapley Heights has dropped out last. Kanahoe is a half dozen lengths clear of String of Pearls and Canmal as they race up to approach the 600. 2.5 then to Use the Space, getting through on the inside and starting to make ground in good style with Eastern Temple around it. And they're followed by Nazan dropping back on the inside of that pair. Then at the head of the others, La Caissière, followed by Sanita Watching. Mapley Heights coming around them, but is giving them a long start, and they're followed by Fadamar. Then a long gap then behind them, Condescend, followed by La Savron. Star Guinea and Extreme Joy, the last pair, but Kanahoe about 5 in front as they swing for home from String of Pearls and Canmal. Use the Space and Eastern Temple running on well. La Caissière on the fence. Sanita's making a run and Mapley Heights is down the outside, but Kanahoe's well in front at the 200 metres. Now the challenge coming from Sanita and Mapley Heights. They're starting to cut back Kanahoe, Sanita, and along the inside La Savron, but Kanahoe's in front. La Savron, Sanita and Mapley Heights closing in. La Savron got there. La Savron has won it from either...
The New Zealander arrived in the nick of time, providing 20-year-old Lance O'Sullivan with a thrill he's never likely to forget. The filly is by the former Rayora-based stallion Sovereign Edition, a sire who's been an important source of classic blood for more than a decade.
Racing, got them to a great start. Dapper bounded straight into the lead and Emancipation's going with him. She's only about a neck away on the outside, a length and a half.
It was a virtual 2-horse duel again over 1,600 metres at weight for age in the Group 1 All-Age Stakes at Randwick.
Inside the 1,400 metres, and Emancipation's showing slightly in front of Dapper, who's eased back to second, is about on the run down to the 1,100 metres, about a length and a quarter from Dapper, who's pulling fairly hard, reducing, and 2.5 Sovereign Chief last of all. Emancipation led Dapper, who's getting a bit closer as they travel inside the 600 metres, only a half length away second the colt. They're followed by Tempestuous, moving clearly into the third placing. Clear Gold is fourth and being hard ridden, and Sovereign Chief is last. In the straight, Dapper coming at Emancipation, and soon after Dapper raced to the lead. On top of the rise, Dapper's in front of Emancipation, but the mare has plenty left on the inside rail, and she's kicking again. The rider feeling for the whip on Dapper. Emancipation just in front, 100 out, and she's kicking away from Dapper. She's got him beaten, the mare, and Emancipation strode home to win it well. Emancipation beats Dapper. Clear Gold is third, then Sovereign Chief.
Although Dapper was found to have injured himself during the scrimmage on the first turn, the incident should not be allowed to dim what was undoubtedly Emancipation's finest moment. It was Emancipation's 19th win from only 25 starts, and she had earned in excess of $550,000 in stakes. Emancipation was retired after 3 unplaced runs during the Brisbane Winter Carnival, and she was booked to visit the exciting New Zealand-based stallion Vice Regal in the spring. Dapper's injury to his near side knee forced his premature retirement because he too was scheduled to race in Brisbane. Dapper's record reads 13 wins and 4 seconds from 18 starts, including those magnificent Triple Crown wins. His career earnings were $623,600.
They're set to go and they're racing, and a good start, and Kia Mare out wide, and Our Shout got the best of the start, and they bounced out smartly to Spring Moss and Fountain Court, who's darting on the inside of these. Alibi was handy, and then came Admiral Flash, and they're followed by Fast Food Veloso. Stylish Jude is putting on an early sprint, and then follows Hey I, and they're followed then by Gaudeamus. Oh, Jack Frost got a bit of a check and went back through the field, and they're followed by Bronze Lord, and then came What a Nuisance well back. Veloso and Tresaro are fairly well back in the field.
With 4 of the 5 previous Sydney Cups falling to 3-year-olds who had either won or been placed in the AJC Derby, it was only natural that punters looked to a horse with those credentials when determining favouritism. The youngster to fit the bill was Alibi, who'd done such a good job in winning the Rosehill Guineas and who'd been trapped wide for most of the race when second to Prolific in the Derby. But Alibi had favouritism wrested from him by the huge weight of money for the Melbourne-based but New Zealand-bred galloper What a Nuisance, who'd won his previous 4 starts at distances from 1,400 metres to 3,200 metres. The best Sydney Cup field for years seemed the perfect way to conclude a first-class autumn.
They're followed by Our Shout tucked in behind those, and then Fountain Court on the inside just led from Fast Food as they reach the 1,600 metres. The pressure's on now. Hey I hard-ridden third. Our Shout's getting up on the inside of that horse, coming into it. Spring Moss yielding ground. Then Tresaro, followed then by Kia Mare, Alibi. What a Nuisance coming around them well, followed by Fountain Court, Bronze Lord. Gaudeamus well back. Jack Frost followed by Stylish Jude well back. Veloso next to last, and Admiral Lincoln last. Hey I moved up on the outside of Our Shout and Fast Food, but Tresaro is the danger on the outside, and he shot to the lead. Tresaro led the way from Our Shout in second placing. Then came Alibi and Hey I, but Tresaro will take beating from there. 100 to go in the Sydney Cup, and Tresaro has the lead from Our Shout by a length and a half. Tresaro wins the Sydney Cup. Tresaro beat Our Shout, Alibi third.
The giant son of Sir Tristram, Tresaro, had been convincingly beaten when a short price favourite at his previous 2 outings. That win completed a big week for the Cummings-Marshall combination, who'd earlier captured the AJC Derby with Prolific. The Spelling Inspired was off to the Spelling paddock after his disappointing effort in the Sires, leaving the final leg of the Triple Crown appearing a contest between those now familiar rivals, Victory Prince and Red Anchor. Although Victory Prince earned the kudos and the prize money in the Sires produce, Red Anchor was widely regarded as unlucky and was sent out 11-8 favourite to make amends.
Giostra caught a bit wide. They're followed by Lord of Camelot. Victory Prince is in a good spot, and then Spirit of Kingston pushing along the rails. Then Fair Verdict, and they're followed then by Dinky Flyer, and then came Jan's Regatta Border Raid. Stater well back, followed by Tristark, and Love and Flight has dropped out. Last Deal on the inside rail has the lead to Red Anchor, being ridden a bit now. Victory Prince moved up third as they round the bend. Spirit of Kingston back fourth on the fence. Giostra and Fair Verdict and Dinky Flyer had a bit of a collision there, fairly well back behind them. Border Raid over the rise, Red Anchor coming a deal. Now Victory Prince is putting in the strong burst down the middle of the track, and Fair Verdict is running on well. Victory Prince takes the lead from Red Anchor on the inside, and Fair Verdict, the 3 of them knuckle down to battle it out. Victory Prince coming at Red Anchor, and Fair Verdict on the outside, hammer and tongs. Red Anchor kicked again and won the Champagne. Red Anchor beat Victory Prince.
Red Anchor, like Caulfield Guineas winner Beechcraft, is a son of Sea Anchor. This colt appeals as the 2-year-old most likely to progress in the spring, and could well have another Group 1 race come his way as a 3-year-old.
Regarded in Jockey Club's revamped 4-day carnival in May. In a commendable move, the SAJC moved the Derby from its traditional October date to be run at the opening day of the May meeting. The decision was rewarded when owner Robert Sangster and trainer Colin Hayes sent the top filly Mapley Heights home from Sydney especially for the race.
Releases them now, and they're off in the Derby of 84, and a pretty tidy sort of a dispatch too. Corrugations is looking for the lead out deep on the track, and Directional is dropping in behind. Mapley Heights getting back early. Corrugations clears the field by the time they get to the judge. 1 circuit to go. So Brave goes up, and he'll take it.
It needs plenty of room, and she does race better outside horses, and coming to the turn, Raw Swan was in front of me, and he did run me out on the turn, and possibly cost me a length or so, but she does need plenty of galloping room.
Quickly followed then by Roman Kingdom, but Hard Rhythm, then further back Path to Riches, Katie's Boy, then T-Biscuit, followed by Directional. Geezer Sir Brave will run last, and Sentimental Lady second last for home. Not Declared got a length in front on the outside. Mistulation, the run's there for Lady Villiers, but she's under the whip. Then further back Corrugations, down the outside Royal Sean, Mapley Heights and Star of Riviera. Mapley Heights is the one down the outside, coming out after this leader. Not Declared about who's boxing on. Mapley Heights after Not Declared. They're right across the track. Mapley Heights is the leader, getting close to home. She's going to prove lighter her previous form. She's too good in the Derby. Mapley Heights wins at 3/4 of a length. The Not Declared Lasers Fury third.
Mapley Heights certainly deserved the Group 1 win after photo finish seconds in both the VRC and the AJC Oaks. The filly is regally bred, being by the mighty Sir Tristram out of Claudine, a sister to former champion Battle Heights.
The way they go, and he jumped only fairly bold yet. Best away was Stelina, who came out like a rocket, going fast. Gold Kildare, and on the outside, going quickly.
The Goodwood is Adelaide's biggest sprint race of the year, with the best available sprinters from Melbourne usually making the trip across the border in search of the $75,000 prize money. The 1983 winner, Boljet, was favourite at 3-1.
Mighty Supremo, High Polish, and Eureka Gold last of all. 9 lengths between first and last at the 800. Stelina the inside, and Gold Kildare the outer. Boljet being ridden up in behind those on the inside. Over on the outside, 3 deep as Exemplify working into the action. There too is Like a Planet, camped off the pace, and then came Game Set Match, followed by Prince by the Rail. Off the track still is Penny Edition, Fire Stick, Eureka Gold, Harpagus getting back on the inside and not travelling well. It's hard ridden. Mighty Supremo second last for home, and High Polish last in the straight, and here the lightweight. Gold Kildare puts its head in front of Stelina. Boljet's under the whip on the inside but getting a rouse run. Then further back, Mighty Supremo down the outside, Exemplifying. Old Penny Edition coming home well. Like a Planet coming out after Gold Kildare. It's Like a Planet getting to Gold Kildare. Mighty Supremo coming hard, and Penny Edition. Like a Planet in front. Letsy's Goodwood. Like a Planet gives Letsy 3 for the day, and another Goodwood. That's 5 now for him. Second's a great...
Like a Planet had not exactly been the punter's pin-up horse over the season, but deserved the breakthrough when one recalls his close second to stablemate Cool River in the Epsom Handicap the previous spring. The gelding gave Adelaide's top jockey John Letts another win in the big sprint.
They're set, racing in the Cup, and Kabima one of the first to show out from head for space, going fast early as Noble Comment.
The 1984 Adelaide Cup, the richest ever at $130,000, attracted the best field in memory, with 8 of the 15 runners having proved themselves at the Cup distance of 3,200 metres. Bart Cummings sent Tressaro from Sydney for the big race, while the King of the West, Moss Kingdom, was there to prove he was up to the class of the Eastern State horses. Then there was the Derby winner Mapley Heights, along with Melbourne and Sydney Cup runners-up Noble Comment and Alshut.
Followed further back by Alshut. Kabima drops out of it. Further back then was Paddy Gamble. Tressaro threads his way through the field. Further back then was Tujil Neo. They're followed by Mapley Heights, about 2 away then, gaining good ground past the baton, and they're followed by Redita. 600 to go in the Cup, and the leader still head for space, defying them. Mevron Boy goes to second. Affinity 3 wide is joining in. Moss Kingdom is fourth, just behind the leader. Mapley Heights coming home strongly, and so too is Tressaro, and they're followed further back by Paddy Gamble. They straighten for the run in, and head for space has been headed off by Affinity. Here comes Moss Kingdom in the centre, battling away as Mevron Boy. Further back was Alshut. 200 to go, and it's on the inside. Moss Kingdom being tackled again by Affinity. Moss Kingdom takes the lead. He's going to win it again. The Perth Cup winner is striding away, and Moss Kingdom will win a 5 out of long here.
Moss Kingdom's win was hailed as one of the best in an Adelaide Cup since the legendary Rain Lover scored as a 3-year-old in 1968. Full credit must go to trainer Frank Maynard for his efforts with the horse, and young Perth jockey Jim Taylor certainly proved himself a big name of the future.
The win coming up onto his stand by for a start. Racing now. Look Aloft near the inside began smartly, and String of Pearls came out nicely. In fact, she's running to the lead in the early stages. Kenny Owie began okay, and Amazing Gold is showing. Bel El Kazar, and then Silver Dame, Lacazier on the outside of Grave Blessing, and Look Aloft is last.
2 of the unlucky runners in the AJC Oaks were Lacazier and Look Aloft. No surprise then to see these 2 fillies disputing favouritism for the $60,000 QTC Oaks.
Amazing Gold, followed then by Silver Dame, and then Lacazier, Grey Blessing, and Look Aloft still at the rear. As they run on towards the home turn, 400 metres left to go. String of Pearls will straighten up almost a length in front of Kenny Owie on the outside. Amazing Gold running third. Lacazier now popped the big question. She's running on gamely on the outside, and then Look Aloft. String of Pearls still the leader, 250 out. It's String of Pearls getting away from them. Lacazier is hitting top gear on the outside now. Oh, she's running on gamely, and Lacazier loomed up to go to the lead from String of Pearls. Now Look Aloft has popped the big question on the outside. Lacazier in front of String of Pearls. Look Aloft is trying hard. Lacazier in front. Look Aloft is coming at a hard. Close to home, they hit it. Look Aloft. Look Aloft is going to win it from Lacazier.
Look Aloft is a daughter of the beautifully bred Neverbend horse Nan Nan, which stands at Birchwood Stud in Victoria. Her dam Love Aloft was one of the best fillies of the early 70s.
2 months. One of the attractions of the Brisbane Carnival is the 3-year-old racing, which this year was dominated by 3 New Zealand-bred colts. Beechcraft, winner of the Doncaster Handicap, had taken that form to Brisbane and had continued on his winning way. The AJC St Ledger winner, Port Fair, had given Beechcraft the race of his life in the Channel 7 Classic at Doomben on May 26. And from New Zealand, the highly rated Librici had run right up to his reputation by beating Queensland Oaks winner Look Aloft in the Grand Prix Stakes. It was a promoter's dream come true, and they all took their place in the field for the Group 1 Queensland Derby on June 9.
Last of all, definitely right. 750 metres left to go, and it's bring home a half length in front of Old Currency. Librici still travelling very easily third on the inside. Then Rock and Remus Beechcraft, followed by Riverdale. Further back, Look Aloft on the outside of Laser's Fury, and definitely right last of all. On towards the home turn, 500 metres left to go, and it's bring home straightening up almost a length in front of Old Currency. Librici now coming to the outside. He's popped the big question. Then Riverdale. Look Aloft giving the leaders about 4 lengths. 250 metres left to go. Old Currency's taken the lead, but tackled immediately by Librici on the outside. Then bring home Riverdale, Laser's Fury, and Look Aloft. Librici's gone to the front past the 200-metre mark. He's clear. He's kicked away from them, Librici. He's 2 in front of Old Currency. Laser's Fury and Look Aloft running on gamely, but this is one for New Zealand. Librici's far too good for them in the run to the line, and he's going on to win the Derby easily. Librici first, tight second and third. Laser's Fury, all Look Aloft.
Librici was hailed as the most promising horse to race in Brisbane during the winter. Librici is by the habitat horse Imperial Seal, who's a half-brother to the Epsom Derby runner-up Imperial Prince, himself a very successful stallion.
We're all set now. Line's good. Racing Foreign Interest began quickly near the inside, and Emancipation fast away. Daybreak Lover showing good speed with Like a Planet and Fixed Flash.
With prize money of $205,000, the Elders Handicap is the richest sprint in Australasia, and the lure of the big money attracted a top-class field. Heading the weights was the champion Emancipation, but after her defeat over 1,200 metres the previous week, there were many who said the great mare couldn't win.
With Royal Regatta Show Moran, and Idaho's Gift immediately drops to the rear as they run down towards the 850, and the leader Fixed Flash, he's a length in front of Prince Harvey, and Daybreak Lover is beautifully positioned in third place on the rails. A length to getting closer, and then Secret Moments, who's caught a little bit wide. Foreign Interest on the inside. Then Emancipation, Like a Planet out wide. Noble Notes a bit deep as well. Final Affair, Mr. Illusion, then Some Unit. Picking up ground, Manu, and he's starting to go forward, but he's very wide, and then He's a Warrior, Tempestuous, Royal Regatta. Then Show Moran, Blue Sector, Lord Seaman, and Idaho's Gift is still last. Running onto the home turn, 450 metres to go. It's Fixed Flash, the leader, just in front of Prince Harvey. Foreign Interest is third on the inside, and now Daybreak Lover hooked out 3 and 4 deep. He's starting his run, getting closer, going with him. Emancipation, she's struggling. She's back in about 7th place, and she's under the whip. Final Affair down the outside is coming into it with a great run. Prince Harvey's taken the lead. Daybreak Lover going out after him. Final Affair is kicking again on the outside. Final Affair going out after Daybreak Lover. Daybreak Lover's in front. Prince Harvey, Fixed Flash, they hit the line. Daybreak!
The win was a great tonic for 2 of the personalities of Queensland racing, trainer Danny Duke and jockey Gary Palmer. Duke listened to the race from a hospital bed, and Palmer, 24, had been on the verge of giving the riding game away until convinced by Duke that Daybreak Lover would soon make it all worthwhile.
Go, they're racing at the Brisbane Cup, and near the inside, Rose and Thistle came out smartly. Head for Space began nicely with Port Fair, and showing speed, Our Shout and Kerbrook in the early stages. Lord Bijou began nicely. Beaver Boy drifting back. He's midfield on the inside of Myodine, and then Smoky Babylon. Roy Peaker going up into a handy position about midfield in the early stages. Old Currency, Smoky Babylon getting back with...
The toughest battle relating to the Brisbane Cup, it seems, was fought off the course. Tommy Smith suggested that the Queensland Turf Club should give some thought to reducing the Brisbane Cup from 32 to 2,400 metres because of the lack of suitable lead-up races. But rival trainer Bart Cummings responded by saying, because you can't get a kick, it doesn't mean you change the rules. Needless to say that on Brisbane Cup Day, TJ came out kicking with his informed stayer Kiamare the favourite.
And Samantha's last of all. Down the side, 800 metres to go. They're pouring on the pressure now, and the leader head for Space. The neck in front of Lord Bijou, and Roy Peaker's gone up to be third on the outside of Kiamare. Over on the rails in 5th place is Port Fair, then Myodine. Rose and Thistle is now starting a strong run. Our Shout's got shuffled back in the field. Beaver Boy next on the inside, and then Old Currency, Dancing Man, Rock Show, and Smoky Babylon, Toujours Mio back towards the rear. Straightening up now in the Brisbane Cup, and Lord Bijou has taken the lead, but tackled immediately by Roy Peaker. Roy Peaker's loomed up on the outside, Kiamare sticking to the rails. He's going with them. Rose and Thistle right down the outside with a great run. And Beaver Boy's coming through in the centre. On the extreme outside, Rose and Thistle's taken the lead. Kiamare's battling on gamely. Then Roy Peaker, Beaver Boy, Lord Bijou and Port Fair. It's a great go. Kiamare's fought back. He's just in front of Rose and Thistle. Beaver Boy coming at Kiamare. Kiamare in front. Beaver Boy lunging at him. They hit it. Oh, gee, this is close.
A thoroughly deserved win for Kiamare, who'd won 4 races during the season, but had little luck in the big ones. The gelding races in the colours made famous by Kingston Town, and like the Great Black Champion, is raced and bred by Mr. and Mrs. David Haynes. Kiamare gave jockey Peter Cook his 2nd successive Brisbane Cup, having been successful last year on Amaranth.
After the Big Eagle Farm meeting, the final venue for the circuit of Group 1 races is Brisbane Amateur Turf Club's Doomben Racetrack. Here, on the opening day of the 2-day carnival, the feature event is the Rothmans 100,000, an open handicap over 1,350 metres and carrying prize money of $180,000. The onset of industrial turmoil caused the postponement of the Rothmans meeting, and when it finally got underway the following Wednesday, the field was without the pre-post favourite Mr. Illusion, whose trainer had conceded defeat in his battle to get the horse to the post. It was left to the Melbourne galloper, Getting Closer, who'd chased Mr. Illusion home at Doomben 3 weeks earlier to carry the hopes of punters.
Starter has the button. Go, they're racing. Royal Crest dwelled just slightly, and Lord Ballina missed the start. Roman Knight out wide began very fast, and Anything Tudor and Royal Deal showing speed with Daybreak Lover. He's 4th on settling down. Then Prince Harvey Fixed Flash, followed by Mr. Magic Noble Note, then Final Affair. Sir Rocket is caught out very wide with Flash Lady in the early stages, Getting Closer, drifting back, and then Lord Ballina. Further back in the field, Mr. Magic Noble Note picking up ground, and then Lord Ballina. Royal Crest is a long way back with Viff, and then Mighty Supremo, who's starting a run, and Dynamo's last. Onto the home turn, 450 metres to go. Anything Tudor with the advantage of the inside went through to be the leader. It's Anything Tudor just in front of Roman Knight as they straighten up. Fixed Flash running 3rd. Prince Harvey pulled to the outside and popped the big question. Final Affair, Sir Rocket running on gamely, and Daybreak Lover going for a run in the centre. Anything Tudor's kicked right away from them, 200 metres to go. Anything Tudor 2 lengths in front of Prince Harvey. Getting Closer is getting clear, and he's rattling home with Final Affair on the outside. Getting Closer swept up to Anything Tudor. Getting Closer has taken the lead. Getting Closer first. Mr. Magic second, tight 3rd.
The Rothmans was Getting Closer's 2nd Group 1 success and increased his earnings to more than $440,000. He is by the Hyperion line horse Long Row, who stands at Mapperley Stud, Matamata, New Zealand. The horse is part owned by colourful Sydney-based bookmaker Mark Reed, was ridden by Greg Hall and trained by former Queenslander Henry Davis.
This year the Doomben meeting seemed totally jinxed. Not only did the club have to postpone the Rothmans 100,000 meeting, but the subsequent fixture was held in the poorest of winter weather. Contenders for the $205,000 4X Cup ploughed through one of the heaviest tracks seen in Brisbane in recent times, and it was no surprise after the race to find the stewards abandoning the remainder of the car.
After Hawaiian Rain picking up ground on the outside of I Will, and then Kiwi Slave, Royal Regatta a bit wide. Haley's Hope in the centre, then giving them an impossible start, a long break to Noble Falcon, and last of all is Sovereign Chief coming down the side, 650 metres left to go. Tempestuous still the leader, she's an 1.5 in front of Handsome Air. Abbott 3rd on the inside, followed by Royal Regatta, who's coming into it with a great run on the outside. She's looming up into 3rd place. Then Kuba's Gold Hussar's Command is now starting a run. Lord Seaman to the outside is coming home strongly. And further back, Toujours, Mio and Gadachi as they straighten up. 350 metres left to go, and Royal Regatta, she's loomed up on the outside to go to the lead. Royal Regatta's just in front. Handsome Air boxing on gamely. Kuba's Gold on the outside. And Hussar's Command is coming with a great run right down the outside. He's taken the lead. Hussar's Command. Harris has gone for the whip. Hussar's Command shot clear. He's a length in front of Handsome Air, followed by Kuba's Gold and Royal Regatta, but it's all Hussar's Command, and Hussar's Command is racing away to win it easily. Hussar's Command first, tight second.
Hussar's Command, who cost only $1,350 as a yearling, is truly a bargain buy. This son of 7th Hussar has now won more than $282,000 and is shaping as one of the threats in the big spring cups of the 84-85 season.
Well, that was a rather soggy conclusion to the 1983-84 Australasian racing year.
They didn't perform up to a best.